are squawking dead. And welcome back to another Talking Dead takeover by Squawking Dead. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I am joined by Meg the Geek. Say hello, Meg the Geek. Do a dance. Oh, she's frozen. She's speechless. I love technical difficulties, don't you? I think she'll be back at some point. In the meantime, quite a look she's frozen up on. I wanted to say hello, welcome, thank you for joining me on this lovely evening. I think we have a very emotional episode to kind of cover right now. And thank you, Celtic TSO Tom O'Mara, for noticing that we're actually right on time. I appreciate that very much. In the meantime, as soon as the broadcast ends, I will be uploading the webpage for our new giveaway, The Road to Thousands. Basically, if I can sum this up before Meg comes on, the giveaway involves this. We're giving away one Cameo.com shout-out. Now, the whole reason behind The Road to Thousands is all about basically every time one of our subscriptions or likes or follows hits 1,000, we open up another winner slot. So if, let's say, our YouTube subscriptions reaches 1,000 subscriptions, we open up another winner slot. There are 2 winners. Facebook hits 1,000, we open up a 3rd slot, and so on and so forth. So go forth after this broadcast and head to squawkingdead.com. The page will be ready at the end of this broadcast. Tom, how do you feel about Meg the Geek suddenly getting chucked out of the conversation? Let me know. Thanks. I want to alert you guys to Rachel's charity for a second. This will give me some time for Meg the Geek to actually come back on. So Rachel, CosmoMom09, you may know her on Instagram as that. Hey, Meg.
I am so sorry. I have no clue what happened.
Did you kick over the stand that you had your stuff? I'm kidding.
No.
Like the very thing I warned you about.
Oh
no, I'm
my
kidding.
God. Just before this popped on, oh my God, wait, okay, hang on, close out of this.
By the way, I went through the whole giveaway in the time that it took you to come back, but I also wanted to talk about Rachel's charity. She is still doing the charity for St. Jude's. She's been doing it for a couple months, and basically she's trying to reach $1,000 for St. Jude's Hospital. It's probably one of the best charities in terms of treating individuals, helping cover wages, making children and parents comfortable at facilities, and basically trying to do the best care while giving the best medical care, but also giving the best people care. What she's trying to do is, and she's going to probably do it anyway, but she will be shaving her head once she reaches $1,000 for her charity. So head over to either youtube.com /Squawking Dead. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description. If you're watching this on Facebook, it's in the description. Go to CosmoMom09 on Instagram. That's her account. The link is in her bio. I don't think it's in her Twitter account, but that is CosmoMommy09 on Twitter. And just harass her. Tell her to put it in the description as her website. But either way, please donate. I think she's less than $200 away from reaching her goal. I think we're really proud of what she's been able to do in a relatively short period of time. A couple, 3 or 4 months, I think. So head over there and make some magic happen. Welcome back, Meg. What happened?
I have no clue, dude. Just before this all happened, an update thing came up, and it's like, do you want to turn on automatic updates?
Is that from Zoom? Or
I just said in general. I clicked no. Next thing you know,
you
we
restarted?
are Walking Dead. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, Tom says he'll donate Madison's head to a donator in terms of just to for Rachel's charity. We need money. We need the code money. Oh, are you saying if people win, if we go over 1,000 on Rachel's charity, Tom will donate Madison's head, the one he popped
I'll
off.
probably put it on a Pike.
If you don't know what we're talking about, check out our Instagram stories. He basically posts a video with Meg the Geek. By the way, the meeting of the minds finally happened.
I'm actually going to put my side of the story in that before I actually post it on my Instagram. Okay. So that's why I haven't posted it yet, because I need to say my piece first.
You're going to do a little production? That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's what I do. So.
Yeah, well, I admire that. Which kind of is a great segue to, I kind of want to give you the floor for a little while, because you've had a really long week to the point where you weren't able to make last broadcast.
I am so upset.
Don't be. You're okay.
I did have some stuff going on, but apart from just life in general and just the chaos of it, I was also prepping to go to Monster Mania in Cherry Hill.
Right.
They had Robert Englund, Clive Barker, Ryan Hurst, Stephen Yeun, which the reason why Ryan Hurst had to cancel for Walker Stalker New Jersey is because he was at Monster Mania. So I finally got to meet him. He signed him and Stephen Yeun signed my poster, and I got a photo op with both of them.
All right.
I did the Whisperer pose with Ryan. So we were both, finger to the mouth. Exactly. And then Stephen Yeun, I made him do a prom pose.
Oh, that's cute.
I kind of want to use it as my Christmas card. I love it so much.
Which is kind of great because I just saw the Twilight Zone episode with him, and it was around Christmas. That was like the whole theme of that episode.
Oh, perfect.
It was so great. So great. So great. I can't.
So when you get a letter in the mail and it's a picture of Steven and I, there you go.
That's awesome. Well, I should definitely, if and when you do, I'll definitely post that.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Merry Christmas from Meg and Steven.
Yeah, but you had a rough week. I mean, even like on the personal front, you had a couple of.
Yeah. So that was the date. Well, without really getting too much detail, I had a friend pass away last week. So the wake was the day after you guys were doing the podcast, and I had to clean my house. I had to pack. I had to get an outfit together. I had to figure out everything I needed to bring for the convention because, Dave, you know what prepping for a convention is like.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just throw shit in a backpack and you're done. You have to figure out what you're going to get signed, whose table you're going to go to. So you had to like all that prep work.
Schedule, plan of attack. Yep.
Plan of attack. Yeah. Cause I'm actually going to do a video about this, like convention prep, like in tidbits. So you can't go in there blind. Otherwise you're going to be screwed.
I make it so they have like fallback plans. So
yeah, like if a guest cancels.
Yeah. If a guest cancels or if something happens, cause like, I guess on our front, it's more like you plan. Well, I don't know. Like a Squawking Dead thing is really like, you plan on doing a couple things because you really can't expect to do many things because part of you wants to be able to interact with the crowd and the fans and meeting up with people you've been interacting on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter with for like ever. And so it's kind of like, I can't expect to be the same as every other fan only because it's kind of like, you're not really there to do what other people do. You're there to kind of bother people as they're doing other things.
Yeah, like you have to have like a sense of professionalism when you're doing it from a podcast standpoint.
Yeah. So that's
that's how I am because like with the whole Meg the Geek thing, that's just my alter ego. So I actually like had a couple people come up to me. They're like, "Are you Meg the Geek?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's me."
Dang.
So I want to go in there and be like, "Oh my god, I love you so much," but then you're like, "Oh, okay, this is kind of my brand. I kind of have to." Be respectful.
Yeah, not only be respectful, but be like present and have the conversations that you need to have, and then you miss that photo op or you're late to it or something. Yeah, well,
actually, I was the one that was late to my photo op. It was other people.
It was Stephen Yeun. What?
Yeah,
you can call him out and still love him.
I love Monster Mania, but this was just messed up. They had so first off, Steven could only come Saturday and Sunday, and I met everyone I wanted to meet on Friday. So I was only coming Saturday for my Ryan photo op to meet Steven, and then my Steven photo op.
Right.
Well, I got there at probably like 11 because my first one was at 12. So I get the photo op, no problem. Find out Steven's not getting there till 3. So I was like, all right, whatever. I shopped, ran into Tom, ran into some of my, a couple of my favorite cosplayers. So we were chatting for a while. Then Tom ripped Madison's head off. So we won't talk about that. So I was fully ready to go 3, and then they're like, okay, no, he's just gonna go straight to his photo op at 5, and then go sign autographs after. I was like, what am I gonna do for 3 hours or 2 hours at this point? So I hung out on the couch. Get to the photo op at 4:35. They say come back at 4:45. I get at 4:45. Apparently James Hong, he was doing a photo op in costume.
Oh, wow.
And he had trouble getting the costume on. He's like 90, so that delayed it. So then Steven's photo op got pushed back. And then Robert Englund's Photoshop was photo op, not Photoshop.
Photo op shop, yeah.
Yes, was right after Steven's. So the hallway, you could not breathe. They made us wait in that crowded hallway for like 15 minutes, then put us outside in the 90-something degree heat in the sun for like 15 or so minutes.
Oh, man.
Then they brought us in the photo op room, which for like another half hour, none of us could breathe. I almost passed out. And then we finally got our photo ops.
Oh, man. I mean, at least you got them, right? Do you think, were people like turned away, or did they close up shop early? Did they at least stick around until the time that they were originally allotted? I mean, I'm just curious about that.
Well, I don't even know what time James Hong's Photoshop wound up. Photo op. Jesus.
I think James
Photo
Hong
op.
knows Photoshop by now. Okay.
Probably not.
Just because you said it millions.
I know. I said it so many times. I don't know what time his wound up being, but I know I got my photo op about an hour after it was supposed to be. So Steven, I then used my jump the line pass for Steven. So I got to wait only for like 10 minutes. But I know Steven stayed late to sign autographs for everybody who waited all day for him.
That's so crazy.
He rushed everyone though.
Oh, okay. So I can probably already tell some of the complaints that people had. Like, oh, but he rushed me off to make time for me. But man,
so I was disappointed in that. And then Ryan found out Ryan had to leave at 11:30 today because apparently AMC called him for more reshoots.
Ooh, never a bad thing for the long run, but in the short run,
right? Which is why I'm glad I didn't go today.
Oh boy.
So I got home probably like 10 o'clock last night.
Was there any, like, I will say, like, do you know for sure, or if what the speculation was about why he was late?
Rumor has it, it's just his flight just got in late. I think he flew into Philly because Philly's like hop, skip, and a jump from Cherry Hill.
Right, yeah, it's really close.
So that just, I know it just, if it bothered me, it bothered a bunch of people, especially because, you know, I get it. It's summer. It's hot. We're all hot and sweaty. But then to throw us outside like that, and there were some people that couldn't really walk. So it was, some people were complaining, you know, like their backs, their legs. So we were all sweaty for our photo op. So all the girls were like holding their phones like in selfie mode to like, we're all checking our hair, wiping the sweat off of us. It was bad.
Yikes. Bad all around. I can only imagine how Steven like must have felt like putting people in this position. Like, I mean, it's not his fault. To boot. Right. If it was his fault, he'd own up to it, you know, give everybody his time. But wow, I can't.
Even though he rushed people, he was still very sweet.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
Even in the photo op, you know how normally you're like, okay, next, click. He was like, oh hey, nice to meet you. Thank you so much, for coming out. So that was nice. But I mean, I really would have rather to have like just a 2-minute conversation with him.
Right.
He's not even 5. I'll take 2.
Yeah, no. I'll take 2. Let's meet in the middle here.
I wasn't even done like shaking his hand, and the handlers were like pulling the poster out of the area so he can get ready to sign his next one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I'm still going to go back to Monster Mania. I already booked my hotel for March.
All right.
You should come. I really think you'd like it.
I really think I should be coming to more cons in general.
I agree. I'm within 2019, I'm going to like 10. So I really think you should just come.
Oh man.
Yes.
I'm kind of like, I mean, speaking about that, like all the news about Walker Stalker Atlanta, like the Scream crew coming.
Oh my God. Can we talk about those announcements?
That's exactly why I started. Because I think you should lead me into this because you're way more into this. Like Nev Campbell coming. That's crazy.
I met Nev in March because I was there. I was at Monster Mania for the very first time the girls from the craft reunited. Nev is a total sweetheart.
That's crazy.
I will pay so much money to meet her again and again. I don't care how much it costs.
Yeah.
So
like I think her profile is low enough these days. Would you agree with that? Like her profile is a little low enough these days so that, you know, the fandoms has condensed to like the people who really dig her and
she's doing a lot more cons too.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, because I remember her being like hitting like her height like during the Scream days, and like she was like, you know, top of the list, way on the camera, red carpet, and then like she dropped off.
She had a life. She wanted to have a family. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying, like, just in terms of public profile, like, I don't know if it was the media, like, just stopped caring, or I don't know what it is, but
I think it was a little bit of both. Because I remember when she got announced for Skyscraper last year, it was very 50-50 line. Like, well, why Nev? And then some people are like, oh my God, Nev. I was one of the, the latter.
Okay.
But then you got Matthew Lillard, who's did you see he's hosting the party in Atlanta?
Oh, the Scream after party, was it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I didn't hear about that, but I did hear about the party. But that's crazy. Like, I could totally see that being like a media opportunity to kind of film like another movie, right? Can you imagine that?
Yep.
Like
was it Stab 87?
Yeah, or like StabCon, right?
StabCon, yes.
Right? Okay.
We should buy Stab shirts and wear them that night.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
We should totally do that.
We should totally make them.
Because I found them online.
Yeah. And let's not forget, by the way, speaking of stabbing through the neck, there is the new Pike photo op. You know, Sans.
Yes, that lineup. Oh my God.
Right. Sans Angus Sampson, and I think who's the one other person that's not on there? Oh,
Brett Butler.
Brett Butler, right.
Yeah.
I think it's just those two,
I don't think they're gonna get her.
I think they could. I can't see a world in which they wouldn't. Because she seems okay. She's okay. I'm gonna.
Oh wait, who was the other kid? I totally cut you off there.
Oh,
Not
Gage.
Addie, but the
sorry, Rodney.
Rodney. I don't think he was announced, was he?
I don't even think he's in the country.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's. I'm gonna try to look it up.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure he's the only, because I know they were missing 3.
Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, and Thomas just chimed in too.
Was it? Ask him if that was it.
Oh, Rodney. Yeah, it's definitely Rodney.
It was right. Okay, sorry, I was
we
right.
don't know why though. That's the thing.
I don't know. And they're having more announcements this week too.
Oh yeah, I can totally see that. Because I know that they have enough to have a con, but I think it's kind of cool that they're slowly going to be streaming in and packing in like some surprise guests and stuff like that. I think they're trying to do the best that they can, and I think they have enough to kind of go with. I think, don't you? I mean, I would love to see Jason again because we hung out a lot at Walker Stalker. That's Walker Stalker, the Camp Marimac charity bash. Like we would like eat together and whatever. We just kept hanging out, and
that's awesome.
He's just a really cool dude. You know, we talked about acting and just general things. It's just kind of like a breath of fresh air, to be honest.
Well, they always say, you know, like, don't always go to conventions for the big names. Go for the smaller names because they're just as excited to talk to you as you are to them.
Yeah. And I think to be honest, I think it's kind of like the whole forest for the trees analogy. Like when you're down in the forest, you really don't get the impression of what's going on.
Right.
But like when they're able to see you, when they're able to tell you how they see you from their vantage point, it gives them a bigger picture. Because like he didn't understand how people were like how or why people were reacting to his character and the Highwaymen in general. Just like he didn't understand the reaction. I was like, no, I don't think you understand. Like it took us by surprise too.
Yeah.
Like how weirdly strange they were. Like the Highwaymen were able to attach us emotionally, like in a way. Like, and yeah, granted, like
few episodes.
Yeah, and granted, like it was headed by Angus Sampson, but like you and he were front and center, you know, and so you guys get the credit, you know. So
absolutely,
you know, with like fan favorites immediately for some reason, and I tried to explain that for him too, and he's just really happy to be a part of this thing now, you know, and he keeps it real too. He's like, what did I do? I just put on a cowboy outfit and you know.
But still, he provided entertainment, and that is why we love him.
Yeah. I mean, it just does it doesn't hurt that the fact that he's a really cool guy, you know?
Right.
He's like a cool guy to get to know.
That's gonna make it worthwhile to talk to.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool is like once you start to get to know this dude, and it's kind of like, well, you can't wait to see him in the next project, you know, like whether he's a bad guy or a good guy, you know. At this point, he strikes me as like a Prince Henry, you know, like the Eighth kind of character, you know, like I can see him doing Henry the Eighth, like with his big ass beard and a Victorian era dress and garb. It strikes me.
I'm imagining this right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's that kind of actor too, though. It's very great to see. Like we were in the acting class together, the Anne Mahoney's acting class. So Olivia.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was fun.
I hope they announce her.
Oh, that would be cool. I hope she's available.
I would love to meet her.
Yeah, she's sweet. She's real sweet.
You mentioned Camp Marimac before. Are you gonna go to the fall bash?
That whole weekend is very complicated. So just on the personal side of things, I've been, as a result of my last vacation, I've gotten a lot of pressure to kind of stick around a little longer because you burned up all your vacation days.
Oh.
So I have a lot of pressure on me to not abuse them, and so what's really, really been difficult is finding out whether I should or can take that whole week off, work from home, you know what I mean? Or work from like, not home, but like work remotely, you know, during the day at some sort of hotel or whatever.
Work from your hotel.
Exactly. And then at night, just hang out and do my thing and with everybody. I want to. That's the only way I can conceivably see going. And then you have this whole other thing with... I mean, you know, the one that Rachel's going to in September,
right,
as well. And like, part of me also wants to go to that, meet, you know, Thorgon9 on Instagram, before he quits social media, apparently. But like, you know, meet him, shake his hand, you know, give each other a hug because of the hat thing. It was just kind of like a bonding moment. It was a lot of pressure at the time, but like we got it done, and he's just been very grateful. And just like hang out with Rachel too. Like we haven't met yet. It just feels like we have. Well,
you do all these shows together. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. So, so that would be nice. But like, you know, like wishes were horses, right? Like we'd all be eating steak is the whole line anyway. But that's from Firefly. You remember Firefly? Yeah, of course. Yeah. But for the others, watch the show. Watch Firefly. Short but sweet.
Yes. But you are definitely going to Walker Stalker.
I'm going to Walker Stalker, definitely. I haven't bought anything yet, but that's just me. I just come in with the kill later on. As fucking lazy as I am.
Talking a big game, but you don't even have your tickets yet. I don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
I've had my ticket bought since November. I've had my ticket since November.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like before all the shit went down too, by the way.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep. Dedication, man.
Yeah. I just know that they do those 50% off things every now and again. And now they have like until midnight, I think they have like a buy one, get three free GAs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have just bought one and 3 more for the Squawking Dead just in case.
Well, they were having a sale like last month for any event in 2019. This is before the whole Nashville thing happened, that you could have gotten VIP for 50% off.
Ooh, okay. And yeah, they did have that buy one, get one, or 50% off of VIPs. I think they might do that again.
They probably, I can totally see them doing it next month.
I might just do that just to get a silver.
Yeah, because you don't want to do GA.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I could be okay with GA. I keep thinking to myself what I would do with a GA with a VIP ticket, and like part of me is just like, I don't care. I just kind of want to hang out with the people.
I mean, I can answer that because in Jersey I do VIP, but in Atlanta I'm doing gold.
Oh, okay. Well, that's mostly for the autographs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but also for photo ops and such. I mean, obviously I'm going to be hanging out with the people too. But for Jersey, I did silver just to have that little ease of mind, I guess you can say. Okay. And I bought it during the 50% off.
Right, that you'll get to where you want to get to when it comes to panels. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think I've been discovering some reasons why I would want to do that for some photo ops, because I'm discovering that and I think this may happen, is that Karen David may actually be coming to this Walker Stalker.
I heard a rumor about that.
I think she kind of alluded to that.
Yeah.
Not today, but it was a couple days ago, and it doesn't matter. But I mean, ever since her Talking Dead appearance and getting to interact with her as little as I have, I mean, I'm just slowly realizing like that's somebody you want to see in person. Like Garrett Dillahunt.
Hours.
Oh gosh. I mean, I'd feel bad for her. I wouldn't want to keep her on the hook, but like that's the thing. Like,
well, I don't mean that way, but I mean like just the stories you could hear.
Oh my God, who knows? Like, oh, she would keep going too.
Right, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh my Lord.
See?
Yeah, I mean,
but she's had such a presence on the show in a short time.
Yeah,
and that's why I think she's gonna go.
I think there are like different buckets in terms of people you would want to meet, but different buckets in terms of how you would react to them. Like obviously, there's like the buckets where like you're totally intimidated by them. The second bucket was like you have to meet them because they're such an important role in the show. So these two can be mutually exclusive, but they can also be like, this guy I look up to, this is really crazy, you're meeting your idols. And then here is like, okay, necessary things to check off my bucket list. And then there's the third bucket. And the third bucket is like you genuinely want to meet them because you want to get to know them. Like it's like such a gradient of like, I don't know if I want to meet these people because they intimidate me, to like I need to meet these people because they are just full of warmth and love.
Right.
And hopefully you're not an asshole. You know what I mean? Because you know them, you see them all the time. Like, and celebrity, I'll say this now. I'll say celebrities talk about it all the time. They talk about how how rude some people are, like how they don't understand how other people don't think that they're human beings. Like, oh, it's their job. Take an autograph, do a selfie. It's like, well, like in a there's like different venues where it's acceptable to do that, Yep. And like in a restaurant is obviously the worst. But like, in an airport, it's kind of a toss up if you kind of just wave hi maybe and just go, can I come to, can I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they go, like they give you like kind of like, I don't know, face. And then you're like, okay,
maybe not.
No problem. Okay, I'll leave you.
But at least you got the fact that, you got the little wave.
Yeah. Well, actually, so Clout Henry is saying, how many cast members have you met?
Me?
Off the top of your head, because
are we talking strictly Walking Dead universe?
Let's talk Walking Dead universe. Yeah.
Play the Jeopardy music, please. Oh God, just this year alone, I met Ross again. Andrea. I'm just gonna say character names. Yeah. Ross, Andrea, Judith, Lydia. Merle bumped into me and apologized, so that counts.
That does count.
He literally just like boom.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm really trying to think. Jenna Elfman, Austin Emilio, Tara, Enid, both Henrys, Chandler, Carl, Pollyanna McIntosh, who I said hi to her. I didn't get to really meet her. Jerry, the King. I know there's more. I waved to Norman. I know there's more. I can't think.
That's fine. That's why I said ballpark it, because sometimes it's really
and
hard
that's just
to put
in
on the
less
spot.
than a year.
Yeah. I can see that.
Oh, wait. Glenn and Beta. That was just yesterday.
Wait. Say that again?
Glenn and Beta. So
Glenn and
Steven
Beta.
and Ryan. And
Just now.
Yeah, just now.
I thought you'd said Ryan already. That's the thing. Okay. Whatever.
I thought I did, but then I was like, wait, no, I didn't.
Maybe I didn't.
Nope.
Tom is saying a couple things. He said Karen David will not be there. I don't know. It's going to happen, I think. But he also said Groupon has a 50% off VIP still. So if you don't want to rely on Walker Stalker's emails, head over to Groupon.com. Yeah, exactly. Head over to Groupon.com. They may have it available, and they may keep doing it, by the way. So probably check back to Groupon.com, even though the Groupon expires.
That's the one issue you have to run in with, or you have to worry about, because sometimes with the Groupon, they won't accept that as an actual ticket.
Ooh.
I've heard that happen in the past.
Damn. So, buyer beware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say just wait for the official sales and, just unsubscribe from the emails.
Okay. Let's use this as a test pilot. If people do use Groupon.com, let us know your experience. Obviously.
But then they take the email and then, they take your money and then you might not have a real badge.
Yeah. Yeah. And check to see who the offer is from too, by the way. And we'll probably hook back to that because I am curious about that. I've actually met not that many people, and there's a reason for that. I went to Walker Stalker last year, and I didn't really make it a point to. I actually didn't get any autograph selfies, photo ops, anything like that. I think it was just over. I'm being honest here. I was really, really overwhelmed. I didn't know what my purpose was. I still don't know what my purpose is when it comes to Walker Stalker. Even though I'm a podcaster, you and me and the rest of the hosts kind of discussed getting a booth.
Yeah.
And it's just so you know, it's like $600 about.
It is.
Roughly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where I would have foot 300 of that, but I can't expecting you guys to foot even the rest of that is just. It's difficult, man.
I was going to talk to you about doing one at Monster Mania because it's like 3 something.
Okay, well, that's a little bit more reasonable.
And you and I live close enough to each other, we can make it work.
Yeah, definitely. Between you, me, and Chris is not that far away. Technically.
Oh, yeah.
So he could join.
Oh, wait! I just realized Jesus.
Well, I've met him too. Tom Payne. Well, that's the only one I've met really.
There we go. I knew there was a couple more out there. And
then there's Xander Berkeley. He painted me at Camp Marimac Charity Bash. There's Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Paulina McIntosh, Cassidy McClincy. I met a lot of people at Camp Marimac Charity Bash. And I kind of liked the setting a lot better because, to be honest, it was very, I'll say intimate, but it was open air. So it sounds kind of weird saying that.
More down to earth based on the pictures.
Whom?
Camp Marimac.
Oh, yeah, it's way more down to earth. This is free promotion, but it's not a paid advertisement because it's charity. But compared to Walker Stalker, you have to do Walker Stalker because it's a TWD family thing, whatever. But I'd say the moniker of TWD family means so much more when it comes to Camp Marimac Charity Bash. It's run by fans for charity. And the people who are there, they want to be there. They know what they're there for. They're there for charity. You get to talk to a lot more of the minor cast, background actors, artists, and stuff like that. All the people you guys interact with on Instagram, etc., fan artists and cosplayers. Come on. That's where you're there. You're there to kind of just get together, talk IRL, and then it's almost as if you're there to kind of get the autographs and selfies of your fellow fans, and you're almost encouraging the cast and crew to kind of say, hey, you can join us too. you know, and
hey,
then,
can you photobomb us?
Yeah, it's kind of there is obviously Pollyanna McIntosh, Sabrina Generino, who played Tamiel of the Heapsters. So there's there's a curve, there's a cutoff, I think, with some people. Cassidy McClincy is just amazing.
Oh my God, I love her.
She makes you feel welcome. But there is a bit of a disconnect when it comes to Pollyanna McIntosh. She has security, which is Chris, by the way. at the time it was so funny. I gotta get her to lunch, bye. He's a little walkie-talkie or whatever. So it's just kind of cool to see that. But yeah, it's really cool. Jeremy Palco, who played oh my God, Andy. I was gonna say Art, but he looks like an Art, doesn't he?
He does a little bit.
But yeah, I've met a bunch of people. It's just really cool to be around them and just notice that it's just so much more of a relaxed environment for everybody involved.
I'm really going to try to get there for next year.
Yeah, I think you should, definitely. Like, I mean, if it comes to planning ahead, I would like prioritize that one because that's going to be big.
My issue is the busiest event of the year at work happens the Thursday before Memorial Day. It's graduation, but I've been at my job. Well, no, I have to film a graduation every year. So, but I've been at my job long enough where I can be like, I could pretty much do whatever I want. So I told my boss flat out that I'm either taking the red eye that night, right after graduation, because we finish about 10, 11 o'clock, or I'm just not coming to graduation because he has enough help where I can get away with leaving early. That's
a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do that.
I paid my dues.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yep. And I told him this like last week, so we're like months out. That's how bad I want to try to go.
It's like we're the exact opposite person. Like I do not plan. Clearly, I don't even have my ticket to Walker Stalker, but I'm telling you, I'm going to be there, which is unusual for me because I usually don't promise things.
Okay, this is going to prove how opposite we are.
Yeah,
I already have my ticket for Jersey next year.
Okay, so just go fuck yourself. Yeah. So we're so different.
Well, it's nice being friends with you, Dave. You know, it was a good run.
Yeah, I know. I quit.
Day made. Let's see. 11:06 on a Sunday night.
History has been made.
Welcome to Squawking Dead.
Wait a minute, I can't quit my own show.
Host.
I made you. I can take you away.
Hey, wait. I found your new host. You ready?
Okay. Oh, is it Zoe? Okay. I want to see your HTML skills, Zoe. I need to see some credentials.
Well, one time she hit the keyboard on accident. She pressed the Z button, so Zoe can type.
Technically,
not 210 words a minute, but
can she do Control Z? Maybe there's a chance.
She's got two paws.
Oh, they're very close together. Unless she uses the other one.
That was a perfect segue into the episode, and you did not take it.
That's true. I did want to give out shout outs to the top. It's not really technically the top anymore. We're kind of like 36 minutes in, but haha. Spirit Cosplay, hello, from Australia.
My girl is listening. Ah!
Yeah, man. Zainap, you know who that is. I'm not gonna get into it. Crazy Cupcake 28. I can't pronounce it. Oh, Espinoza, SX, etc. Cloud Henry, of course. Love the interaction. And we've got Walani, of course, and Thomas O'Mara, which I shout out twice, but he deserves it. Who says also, by the way, that
I swear to God, if it's a Madison comment, do not even say it.
No, he said he's done Groupon before and it's been okay.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on who the vendor is, I guess, that's doing it. I mean, just keep your eyes open, you know. If it's not FanFest or Walker Stalker that is the vendor, it might not be a good idea. But Tom said Karen's going to be at Dragon Con.
I did hear that.
Yeah. So that may be it. For the once. Yeah, I saw that too though. Like way back, I think it was. So and it's going to be a week after Walker Stalker. Okay. So, okay, I guess it's the top. So we have our little segue. We're going to actually talk about the episode. Okay. I will say, like, the one thing I do want to bring up is I can't get over how creative the openers are. Like, I'm
loving them.
And if you notice also, like, the transitions are actually pretty interesting too. Like, I've been noticing that it's been going, the first half of the season's kind of been in the daylight, and then it kind of slowly progresses into night.
I noticed that.
Yeah, and now we're in night, and with the stars, or maybe it could just be the episode itself, because
because of the stars.
Chuck is describing how he wants to see the stars, and I love you see a little shooting star here and there. It just makes me think of actually being in Texas. By the way, like I mean, I'm not the hugest Texas fan, but like Texas is just so solely unique. Like, it's just such a magical place full of like magical, awesome, salt of the earth people, like of the people that I've met and hung out with. It's just such a singular place. Well, I mean, you've never flown either.
Yeah. I
mean, I didn't out you. You said this on the air.
I did. Yeah.
You did, so.
Well, no, my cousin just moved to Dallas a couple of months ago, so I have a feeling I'm going to be flying out there next year.
Yeah. Oh, Dallas sucks though.
He loves it.
I like Fort Worth. I just hate Dallas. I mean, I don't hate Dallas, actually. I don't hate Dallas.
Well, he's kind of more on like the Plano border, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's better.
He loves it, and apparently it's across the street from a video game museum, or near a video game museum.
Can't go wrong with that.
You know how much I love my video games.
I'm with you. So. I'm all about the 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit.
Which we kind of talked about a little bit, but just not on the show.
Yeah, NES Classic. What up?
What? Now I gotta get the SNES Classic.
I'm thinking about it. There's some really good games too.
I do.
Yeah, right.
I still have my original SNES with like the cheap plastic that turned yellow.
Yeah.
So now my system is like two-toned. It's like gray and yellow.
What happened there, right?
I don't know. I actually thought it was broken when I first saw it change, so I brought it to a game store. I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah. Remember, like when you were really, really young, and like they would tell you in Earth Sciences how like plastics took a long time to kind of biodegrade. Yeah, that.
Yeah, like 20 years maybe.
It's happening. I think more than that, by the way. When it comes to plastics,
Thinking the system's been around for about 20 years, maybe 25 years.
More than 20 years. I think 30 years, to be honest. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. 30 years. You were 5 when the SNES came out. I was 10, I think.
All right, so then that means it was 26 years ago.
Wait, maybe I got
I'm 31. Don't be aging me more than I am.
Oh, then you were 1. Maybe. What? How old?
I gotta Google this.
Yeah, because SNES, I think, came out... Oh, no. I might be wrong. I was going to say 89, 90.
SNES. Come on, Google. Come on,
Make
Google.
it happen. Okay, Google. When did the SNES come out?
1990. I was 2.
There you go.
No, wait, 1990 in Japan, 1991 in North America.
Okay, that makes sense. So close.
So 28 years we're looking at?
Yeah, so you were 6, I guess, or 5. That makes sense?
Excuse me, I was 3.
You were 3. You're older than you
Excuse
are.
me, sir.
I mean, I need to talk to your parents. I need identification. I need 3 forms of identification and talk to your parents.
We were friends.
Mm-hmm.
Just some girl today told me that she thought I was 23. So,
well, you definitely do look very young.
Thank you. Nope, I'm an 88 baby, pure and through.
Speaking about being young again, the merry-go-round, also in the beginning, with the music too. I thought.
No, you filled my segue. I'm feeling your segue.
I'm a segue all day.
Bitch.
You don't segue like I segue.
Mine was perfect. Come on.
Yeah, it definitely was. I do. Okay, so I'll give you a choice. This is going to be easier for you because I usually kind of throw people into the mire. You have 3 choices. Okay. Do you want to start at the mall, which is a long one and will lead to tears? Do you want to start with Dwight? Or do you want to start with Daniel and the convoy? Because there's 3 different sections of this episode.
Let's start with Dwight.
Okay, that's a good part.
Is that what you thought I would choose?
No, I was gonna say Daniel maybe, but like that's a good choice because Daniel, I would like to kind of sandwich that in between that and the mall because the malls I think last is. But
I figured we would have done them all last because I figured it would have been the longest discussion since that's where they spent most of the episode. Yeah,
with a little comic relief between that and then.
Yeah.
But okay, so Dwight. Okay, so I think where I started those notes in that section was like right around the time where we see him pick up the gun in the flatbed, and like you realize that he left it there.
Right, I thought that was really bizarre.
Right, a little odd. He even notices like, "What am I doing, man? I'm an asshole."
Yeah.
But it's kind of noteworthy because it does set up the episode where it's kind of like, I'm changing, man. I wouldn't normally leave my gun just out there in the middle of the open for somebody to take.
Which him and Morgan had that discussion probably like 30 seconds prior to that too.
Oh, what was that?
When I don't remember the exact verbiage, but when Dwight was about to leave to go just before he found his gun, it kind of seemed like he was almost like doubting Morgan because it was like, we're not doing right, we're not doing careful, we're doing right or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever
okay.
that tagline was.
I wrote down a little bit more of that, and it was like Dwight basically brings up what we would probably perceive as a very important point, and that's basically like I've been on the side I've seen the side that you're on right now,
right?
And I've been on that other side, and I know what it's like to kind of be the asshole. And like, I don't think you want to again have to live your life looking over your shoulder. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do about Logan? He needed that gas, And he does bring up, like, the way he worded this argument was actually really cool. He kind of almost even painted Logan out to be like the way he used it was like opening his heart. Like he was saying like he needed that gas, like we needed to open our hearts a little bit to what he wanted or something like that, or like to be compliant in a way.
Almost like look at it from his standpoint.
Right, exactly. And then like what happens when you take something, and the guy in the truck that Dwight meets, in a few, we'll talk about that, but he mentions the same thing. He's like, but you know what it's like when you want what you can't have. Right. When you want what you can't have, it makes you go crazy.
Like Sherry.
Oh, shit. Yeah, like Sherry. Well, like... yeah.
Come on, look at that comparison. Look at what drew him off, or put him off.
Right. Well, can you explain that a little bit more, just for the people?
Okay, so when...
Because it's been a while.
So with Dwight, he's obviously been looking for Sherry this whole time,
Right?
and he had Sherry's notes in his backpack. And oh God, what's the guy's name in the truck?
Oh, he doesn't have a name. They never brought it up.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, I made sure.
So
to
the
check.
guy that Dwight sees, the mystery guy, one of Logan's guys, pretty much kind of kidnaps Dwight, and they're in the truck, and he's like, "Tell me where it is. Tell me where the oil. Was it the oil he was looking for?
The oil fields.
Yeah, oil fields. I couldn't think of the verbiage. So he's like, "Tell me where it is," and of course Dwight wouldn't tell him. So all of a sudden he picked up what I assume was a collection of Sherry's notes, and he starts burning them one by one. And Dwight, that's all he has left of Sherry.
Right.
And it was like a light switch went off, and finally he just went off. Like, it was like, it's kind of like almost like when Rick goes crazy, like he's fine one moment and then he's insane the next.
Right. Well, I was thinking more like Daryl, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Like when he punches Negan.
Oh, just before Abraham and Glenn died.
In the lineup, yeah.
Like a light switch goes off, he goes off on him and he overpowers him and he has the gun and he knocks him out.
Right.
But then he realized that he's really trying to do this path of redemption. And we see them going out in this field. And he's like, somebody gave me a choice once, Daryl, and he chose to do right. So now he's giving this guy another chance, which I don't think we've seen the last of this guy.
Maybe. It may end up being to their benefit. Because I remember there was a scene in the oil fields with a guy on the floor, and maybe it's that guy. Do you remember like the guy, like you saw the legs, and they were all out in the oil fields, and they were being attacked?
Right.
And the next you'll see like another frame. There's like the whole place is on fire.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be that dude because it's the boots that are notable, right?
Yeah.
The boots are kind of a little unusual, like cowboy boots.
And they purposely took a shot of that.
Yeah, right.
So there's definitely a possibility.
There's something there.
I feel like there's just a whole theme with cowboy boots because look at in the episode prior. Logan threw his boots at what's Kobe's character's name?
That's right. There's something like Wes. Wes, the character, yeah.
So he threw his boots at Wes.
There is something to be said about that.
There's a theme.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Well, like to kind of go back to Morgan again, though, like it's one thing to, and Milani says this also. The like Dwight saying is basically saying that what we did is careless. We basically made an enemy out of these guys. And then the guy actually reinforces that by saying, what happens when you take away something that somebody really wants.
Right.
And so, but like, I don't think look, between you and me, I don't think that justifies anything. Like, you want what you want, but you can't have it, right?
Right.
I mean, it's the apocalypse in a nutshell. It's like, you want civilization, but you can't have it.
You can't have it.
But I think, Morgan kind of counters with like, and I'll put it to you this way, but like, Morgan counters with basically, he's always believed in being able to redirect. Okay, like finding a way, to redirect these energies and like think out of the box, and it doesn't have to be a binary decision, like give or not give. But I will say, do you like thinking of all of Morgan's interactions, because he's had quite a few iterations of himself. The latter half of which I think involves redirection, aikido, etc., all that stuff. Like from all your interactions, do you think do you have faith in Morgan's ability to redirect? Never mind that Dwight does it in this episode, but like, do you think Morgan's right in principle about this
with the
idea?
Redirection?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to answer. Now we all know I'm not a fan of Morgan, and I'm trying to answer this in a
that's right, I forgot
way.
Right,
but I feel like he's not necessarily like listening to other people's ideas. I feel like he's just kind of like how Rick was getting, like, it's my way or the highway. And I'm not saying this because I'm not a fan of Morgan. I'm saying this just as a spectator view. It
seems like, though, from the video, it seems like everybody's kind of in sync, though. Would you agree? Or
I do agree. But then with Dwight kind of, I don't want to say going off, but Dwight kind of, second guessing it. I feel like there might be some more second guesses that we don't know about or we're not seeing.
No, that's a good point. And I'd be really curious to see that. Because, we all know that they're going to be tested.
Absolutely.
I think we all are like in agreement that that's going to come, has to come, right?
Well, when we talk about the preview for next week, they showed that in the preview for next week.
Yeah, seems like a little bit.
With Jen and Alicia, but we'll talk about that later.
Cannot wait to.
It just shows that they will be tested, and there's still 6 episodes left. That's a lot of testing.
Thank goodness. I really love this season so far.
5B is it's very strong.
Yeah. Well, only because it's
stronger than 5A.
There's a lot more action. There's a lot less setup and a lot more action. Because now we have like this bedrock understanding of what this group is going through, and now they're building on top of that, like now. It's so
that was
cool.
the foundation.
Yeah.
I hate how they're doing it that way though, because they kind of did 4 that way too. A little bit. Little bit. Emphasis on the little bit.
I felt like they did it the opposite way in a way.
Okay.
Because of all the time jumpiness?
Yeah.
You would infer?
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
What's going on from time?
Yeah. It's like, they kind of like built 4 up and then it crumbled.
Yeah.
And then they spent 5 fixing what happened in 4B, and now they're here, and now they're going back up.
Right. Yeah. Milani's even saying that Morgan can redirect until it gets to a point. And he's like, remember Martha?
Yeah. That is exactly what I mean, where it's my way or the highway.
Which is kind of like interesting because when the dude that Dwight meets Dwight is accosted by, on purpose, by the way, Dwight actually goes out of his way, knowing that the kids would be safest north. He goes south to, letting his position be known on open channel so that specifically so Logan's guy would actually get him.
Yeah.
And so I just figured I'd say that out loud. But
you can't hear your inner thoughts, Dave.
But it's very interesting for this character because I do kind of want to take a step back because it deserves to be taken back. I think there was a part of us, whether it was spoken or unspoken, that kind of thinks Dwight is on board awfully quick. Like, It's such a kind of personality reversal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is a huge personality reversal, and you could say that it's hokey. Like, how does this dude go so long screwing people over? What's her name? Dr. Denise in the back of the head, screwing Daryl at every single turn and every single interaction, taking his jacket, capturing him, subjugating him.
I'll let you finish, then I have an idea.
Yeah, but I guess the reason why I'm saying this is taking a step back, and so not only in this episode he's kind of sacrificing himself for this not doing careful thing, doing right thing. But coming in with an unloaded weapon, what? And so, but I think, and I'll say this, I think this episode does resolve some of those questions, right? Like the whole asshole conversation. Mm-hmm. But say what you were going to say. Okay.
So first off, coming in with an unloaded gun, that was just stupid. But that's besides the point. Okay. Now keep in mind. Now keep in mind, this whole thing, when Dwight was on the regular Walking Dead, he was kind of under Negan's spell in a way. Because if you look at it from Negan's standpoint, Negan doesn't think he was doing anything wrong. Negan thinks he was doing what was best for his group.
What was necessary.
Rick thinks. I'm sorry?
What was necessary.
Right. Just like Rick thought he was doing what was necessary to keep his group surviving.
Yeah.
And that's what Morgan's trying to do. I don't agree with it, but that's what Morgan's trying to do. So now, when Daryl at the end of 8 pretty much told Dwight to pretty much get out, you have your chance. Now we didn't see Dwight for a year-ish, or 18. I think we said 18 months, I think. So that Dwight had all that time, because you know how you were saying he jumped on the bandwagon pretty quickly? Not exactly, because he had all that time to think about his past, think about how he can be better.
Right.
And he doesn't have Negan in his ear.
Yeah, maybe. And you know what's so funny about what you just said right now? Well, Lonnie basically said the same thing.
Twin powers activated.
Yeah, so great, you two. She said, maybe all the searching for Sherry mellowed him out along the way.
Yeah.
I can agree.
You try being alone for 18 months. See what happens.
I've been there in a way. Yeah. You can learn a lot in even 6 months, I'll tell you. It's kind of I always think about time in terms of a prison sentence. Walk with me on this, because prison sucks. And we all kind of know it. We don't really know it for sure, but we do know that any time in prison sucks. And I always think of the time you waste is kind of the time you waste or spend, to the negative and the positive. You can equate in prison terms as well, would this be acceptable? Would wasting this much time be acceptable in prison? You know what I mean? Every bit of time you waste in prison, 6 years, 2 years in a relationship, and then it just ends abruptly and unceremoniously. Mm-hmm. You're oh shit, I just spent 2 years in prison.
Right.
What was it worth?
Right.
So I mean, yeah. So going back to Dwight, it's kind of a year and a half. Trying to meditate on that fact. And it's interesting how that kind of concept goes back to Logan, walking 200 miles. Because to walk 200 miles, how long does that take?
Right? Well, I actually figured it out in a way, because me personally, I'm heavier set. I could walk about a mile in about 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. So 15 minutes into 200 miles. Let's see, there's 60 minutes in an hour.
Hey, Google.
No, calculator. So 16 divided, it's 200 divided by 4, 50 hours.
50 hours? So that's 2 days. Yeah, but that's without rest.
That's without rest. Now you add about, say, 16 hours rest in there, plus 16, 66 hours.
So that's basically a week. 72 hours is 5 days. Yeah. Let's just say, and you can't walk throughout the night, which is we already calculated for, but I don't know. And then you have to scrounge around, you have to eat. I mean, you're probably not...
It takes about a week to do it.
Let's just say about a week, 200 miles. Yeah. That's interesting because it does also even bring us back to Morgan's journey from Alexandria, or the heaps, to
But he had
Texas.
better shoes, probably.
Yeah. Oh, God. He kept changing his shoes.
Right.
It was like, taping up his boots and stuff. But yeah, no, so I don't know. I guess it goes back to the primary question, like who do you believe in more when it comes to? I mean, because I know you don't you don't have a thing for Morgan. I see what you're saying about Negan and Rick, and you just have to remember something that Morgan was subject to Rick's assholery.
Right.
When it comes to, if you're not with us, you're against us. Like, I remember bringing up this quote with somebody when we were talking about it, and Morgan basically did not want to kill, and Rick says, you either do kill or you leave, basically, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, you're with us, you're against us. And then it was to the point where, like, what is her name? The Tara was even saying, "What did I sign up with? I left one madman for like another."
Yeah. When he exiled Carol, also.
Yeah, well, that was now way back, but like when but like this was in the church in Alexandria, and Tara's just I signed up for one madman. I left one madman for like another after hearing what he did to Morgan just there.
Yeah.
So and then the tavern thing, like at the end of season 8, like killing all those saviors in the tavern, Jared, etc. Like what a dick! Like you knew Morgan was in the state. Advisory, by the way. If you want a very interesting commentary as the stream keeps going, Tom is just like unloading on you, Meg. He's like, 4B was great because Madison was gone. Don't ask Meg to walk anywhere, but Meg has tiny legs.
Which he has, and I will agree that Meg has tiny legs.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I do too. I always say that to my wife too, by the way. And she's not that much taller than me, but like somehow she always pulls ahead of me. So like, hold on, wait up, I got these little legs, and then I do like a little leg walk, like, oh my god.
You know that GIF of Full House with Michelle? It's like, wait for me, I have tiny legs. That is literally me. Like, whenever I play like Cards Against Humanity with my friends, they make fun of me and call me Rex from Toy Story. I can never reach the cards.
Any arms?
I had child-sized hands and arms.
I do have smaller hands. Yeah. There we go. It's short people problems. Yeah. Anyway.
I just say vertically challenged.
By the way, Tom is like even laughing at our math because I said 72 hours is 5 days. Like,
I know. I heard that and I'm like, no.
That doesn't seem right, Dave.
No.
Like, well, why don't y'all fuck yourselves? You guys
have been on the podcast and do this math, okay?
Yeah, come on. You do math while podcasting. You just, I do want Tom on the podcast at one point if you'd agree to join.
Don't put me on that episode.
I definitely want it to be with you. I definitely do. It's just, it make me so happy.
Well, he lives close enough to me where him and I, if we can't get him on the podcast, that him and I can video something back to,
Yeah, I mean, you guys live close enough that I would drive down and just be there with you guys because it'd be so funny.
I think we should do a live thing, just the three of us.
Yeah.
You can be the moderator.
It'd be like like an adjudication of some kind. Like some legal adjudication. Tom has wronged Meg.
Don't go to jail.
Yeah, you owe Meg emotional damages, like for life.
Well, if you go on his, you'll see it on Tom's Instagram, and you'll see it on my Instagram probably tomorrow. When he did that thing with pulling Madison's head off, there were actual tears in my eyes.
I noticed you were getting really emotional. And by the way, Tom says I quit.
I'm gonna get a shirt before Atlanta, and it's just gonna say "I quit."
Yeah, or it should. You know what? I quit Squawking Dead. That's what it'll just say that in the front. I think I should just make it just for you.
I think we should make a sticker that says "I quit Walking Dead" and put my name on.
I think I want to make a shirt for Tom that says "I quit Meg quitting Squawking Dead." Like that.
Meg quits, so I quit.
Right. If Meg quits, I stay. Something like that. Oh man. Okay. Let's get back to the show.
Get back into this because we can go on this all night.
I swear to God, I would. Okay. So that scene with the Logan dude, it reminded me a lot about season 4 with June's interaction with the dude Quinn in 4B.
Quinn
Quinn was like the dude.
The one she was trying to reach, and then Martha got him.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like a mile marker 32.
And they stole the MRAP from Althea, and he agreed finally to meet her. And yeah, it's very reminiscent of that. Like each one of them has had their like little reckoning. Mm-hmm. Actually, and Morgan
felt really bad for Chuck.
Oh yeah. Wait,
it
Chuck.
Was really nice what they did though.
Yeah, you kind of went from here to there though. It's like we were talking about this.
I know, because I thought you were kind of going into that. I was like, oh, I'll beat him to the punch.
Well, no, I was kind of going with the idea of like, okay, so there's June and Quinn, there's this guy and Dwight, and like even Morgan, like, and I kind of want to go back.
Oh,
I
was not on that same thought train. Oops.
Well, Morgan had a similar kind of thing with the wolf back in Alexandria,
and when the wolf was in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
And then who did he take hostage? I forgot. Carol, right?
I can't remember.
Or was it Olivia?
I don't know. Damn, I don't know. But
yeah, he definitely took someone hostage.
Oh, was it Denise? Because this is pre her death.
Right, you're right. That was Denise.
Yeah, it was Denise. I remember seeing the scene recently. Oh, I covered for you by talking over you.
I'm just Mike Tyson in disguise.
Yeah, with Denise. Why, guys, I'm on the podcast.
I'm not going to say it this show. I'm not going to say it.
Oh my God, dude. I should open the next show saying, oh, we are Squawking Dead.
Carol and Rachel will be like, what the fuck?
What the hell is going on here? Like, again, I know Carol tuned in like briefly. I don't know if she's still on, but like on
we'll
Facebook.
all say in unison that we all quit.
Oh, I quit. I quit Squawking Dead.
And we'll all just turn off our webcams at that same moment.
Notice how like the Mike Tyson voice is a lot like the Madison voice. Well, I don't know, guys.
And meanwhile, Madison's octave is like a lot lower.
Yeah. Well, it's not technically not Madison. It's the sorry, what is it? Kim Dickens' voice. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They are different. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna come back. Tom says, I quit Squawking Dead and all I got with this crummy t-shirt. I mean, at least you got something. This show is like $- input. So lucky you.
Shipping is ridiculous.
You. It's all about you, man. It's
I got a text today from T Republic saying that they miss me. Wait, let's see.
Do I have to text them and say, leave her alone?
It literally says, we miss you like Frosted Tips missed the 90s. We don't sell Frosted Tips, but we do sell everything else. And then there's a link. Yeah. Oops. I accidentally hit the link. Crap.
So it was a text or an email?
No, it was a literal like.
It was a legit text, yo.
Wait, can you really see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Holy crap.
Actual text message.
That's weird. That's so weird, man.
They text me like 2 or 3 times a month.
I think they're cool people too. Their support's really, really good. I mean, we had a mistake that happened in that we bought about a batch of T-shirts for Camp Marimac Charity Bash, and for me to hand out to a bunch of people because I kind of wanted to just, as long as I'm meeting people, like I wanted to meet them in person, talk to them, etc., etc. I said, like, look, if you can get me your T-shirt size, the style that you want it in. Like before such and such cutoff date, I can have them and then I can give them to you when I meet you at Snowy Dead Bash. And what was I going with this? Oh, and one of them came in mistakenly, like incorrect, and they kind of fixed it for me, and like we sent it out, and then I gave it to somebody else, etc., etc. It came in time too. They sent it like overnight shipping, etc. It was really great for free, and, like no charge, and not even shipping. It was great.
So it wasn't ridiculous.
No, it wasn't ridiculous. So there's a reason why the shipping is ridiculous, because the people are not ridiculous. They're ridiculous in the best way possible.
I think you should send. Yeah, you should send that to them. I cannot talk tonight.
This is not a paid advertisement. Because look, if you go to the merch store, I mean, all power to me, right? But
shipping is ridiculous.
Yeah. Fair warning. Going back, it was like, but yeah. So there are parallels here, like when it comes to meeting people and trying to like redirect and re-educate them, almost, which kind of all comes back to Eastman and Morgan in a way.
Morgan and Martha.
Yeah, which that did not work.
No, that did not work.
Well, Anna can attest to that.
That just proves that he can't always redirect.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Morgan was also in a different state as well, too. Like he wasn't in his full complete form.
I think he was like 75% there.
Yeah. Until right after that instance when he realized that you can't all like. I guess some people are gone when they're gone. You know what I mean? Or like not gone when they're gone, or I forget the verbiage, but you get what I'm trying to say.
No one's gone till they're gone.
Yeah, some people are gone.
Trust me, I know that verbiage.
No, like some people are gone before they're gone. So,
that one I don't know of.
yeah. So we get to the end of it, and like basically Dwight gives this dude, Logan's dude, the same choice Daryl gave him.
Right.
Yeah. And I just thought that was interesting because part of me watching this in real time was kind of like, the first time was kind of like, oh, this is not going to end well. This guy admits that he's an asshole. Like his mama said he was an asshole. Like I was like, oh shit, what did you do, Dwight?
I was worried for Dwight.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah,
but I feel like it was like a full circle moment in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm glad it turned out right for Dwight because like it looked like that his whole arc in this episode like was very, very interesting to watch. It was kind of cool to see how he, like, first of all, again, owning up that he's not completely there yet, which is all the time that we've been seeing him now. It's like, oh, he acts like he's like, if I can give good in the world, blah, blah, blah. There's a reckoning, and this is that reckoning. There's like, he was really tested, and you could tell, like with the burning and all that stuff. I just thought that was really compelling.
For as little screen time as he got this episode, he made every moment count, and I applaud Austin for his acting in this episode because it was amazing. He did such a great job, especially in his monologue towards the end.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to give you the same choice somebody gave me.
Right.
You can either go out there and be an asshole or, continue being an asshole, or you can be someone else.
Right.
Is that what he said? Something like that.
So, along those lines.
Yeah.
But Austin, he hit it out of the park with that delivery.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and you could tell he was so in the zone in that moment.
Yeah, and for all the wanting to see Daryl, to hear Daryl speak more, I think like we missed something when it came to Dwight. Like Dwight doesn't really talk much either.
No.
He's kind of like he's been squished down also.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To like how much Negan used to reprimand him and all that.
Yeah, very little to speak, like heapster level minimal speak. You know what I mean? Like
but he's also like Daryl in a sense. So I like that you use that comparison because you know how like we kind of talked about this earlier. How like with Daryl, something happens to someone Daryl loves, Daryl will go off.
Right.
With Dwight, this guy started burning Sherry's letters.
Right.
He went off. So there's a lot of comparison right there.
Well, I always thought of Dwight and Daryl as kind of like, I was going to say yin and yang, but like, okay, this is a better one because I was a yin and yang, like mirror images, negatives. But here's a better one. Do you remember Double Dragon?
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like that.
Okay. I never would have thought of it that way, but I dig it.
Like I dig it. Because I was trying to think of a good comparison. Like, but here's the thing, and it's just in terms of the Walking Dead universe.
I would have said double-edged sword, but okay.
Well, like Daryl doesn't exist, so Daryl is actually technically second player. So
yes.
Dwight technically is the first player.
In strictly the Feared universe, yes.
Right, and like in mechanical terms, Dwight doesn't exist in the comic. Or sorry, Daryl doesn't exist in the comic.
Correct.
So technically, Dwight is first player. Did I say it differently last time?
Well, there is no Fear comic, so.
Well, no, exactly. Well, but so that's the thing. But Dwight exists in the Walking Dead comic, whereas Daryl.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Say like Daryl doesn't exist in any comic. Like period.
I see exactly what you're getting at.
Yeah. So like in the context of the television universe, blah blah blah.
Dwight is player number 1.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like in reality, okay, Daryl's player 1, and that's what the people choose, and the people have spoken.
Like Dwight is like that controller that's half damaged that you give to your friend when they come over.
No, Dwight. Dwight is the controller you don't actually use. What Dwight is the controller you use to chuck at someone's head when they fucking beat you at a game.
And in the gamer world, we call that rage quitting.
Exactly. But, I had to explain it in that way because it's just that much funnier. Because we've all been there. Because we're kids of a certain age. I'll say that much. But I just want to give a shout out to Patch471, whom I think I've actually seen on Instagram. So, but hey, what up? Big up from Hampton, Georgia, and Brooklyn, New York over here. You're in like central New Jersey, right?
Oh no, there's no central Jersey. No. It is a big debate that anyone in Jersey will have, just like pork roll and Taylor ham.
Oh gosh.
I am at the Jersey Shore.
Oh, okay. I was always confused about
somebody
that.
asks where I live, I say, "Do you watch Jersey Shore?" They go, "Yes." I'm like, "That is where I live, in that area."
Snooki and me were best friends.
I've actually been on it in an episode of Jersey Shore.
Okay, we need to stop the show right now, and we need to talk about this right now. You know Nicole Polizzi?
I've met her, yeah, and I actually see JWoww at the mall all the time because JWoww lives in the same town that I work in.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so we go to the mall a lot. Or not together, obviously, but
right. How did you get on the show?
Okay, so you don't actually see my face, first off, because I never signed the papers.
Oh, okay. You just walked into frame somehow?
So, okay, it was in season 3. It was the episode where they were going bowling. And the bowling alley they went to is actually like a hop, skip, and a jump from where I live now. Mm-hmm. So they go bowling, and I'm at the bowling alley the same night that they're filming this episode. So I just see these producers walk in, these camera guys walk in. Next thing you know, we're all like, what? And lo and behold.
Like, they never show the reaction of people.
Lots of orangeness.
Okay, I can only imagine what it looks like under a black light. That fluorescent orange.
I don't want to know.
Oh, I was thinking innocently, like orange tan skin.
No, you hear black light, you just automatically think the worst.
Semen. Can't you see? By the way,
but no, I've met them a few times. They're all really nice.
Like, they shook hands with you and stuff, or what?
I'm sorry?
Like, you got handshakes or something like that, or like?
Yeah, like,
that's cute.
I was near them, but then like I can pinpoint myself out because I know what I was wearing that day. I was like in the crowd of people because everybody was like trying to rush them.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You weren't.
This was season 3, so this is like the height of it.
Like, were you also trying to do that, or? Oh, okay.
No.
I mean,
I was just there. I was like, okay, cool. They're people.
I'm almost like curious about, because I know that Carol is kind of like a big trash TV fan, like Housewives.
Oh my god, that's my shit.
But here's the thing, like, I'm really curious, like, whether if it came down to it and like she saw one of them filming and they were in the area and she was in the background and blah blah blah, would she try to rush them? Well, I guess I could ask the same thing of you. Like, is that one of those things where you love it enough to kind of like out yourself and make a fool of yourself?
No, I don't think so, because I have to live in this area. So, like, I think if I was like, if they were filming in Miami and I was vacationing in Miami,
right, okay.
But the fact that I have to live here, I have to walk these streets every day. Yeah.
I walk these streets. Jay went down the block from me.
I did meet Teresa from New Jersey Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago on my birthday. It was like 2:00 in the morning. We were at the diner in this area, so the shore area. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, Teresa walks in because she had a shore house down here.
Okay, like, but no camera crew, nothing. Not like
no camera crew. They were not filming. It was just her and a couple friends. But it was during the rumors where she was cheating on her husband.
Ugh.
So she happened to be seated at the booth right next to us. And we said hello to them, and my friend was like, "It's her birthday," and she wished me happy birthday.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah.
So it kept
and
the cash.
We left, and we were like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, well, that just happened.
Yeah.
Speaking of that's what happened, segue.
Hey, you stopped the show.
Oh, I needed that. Come on.
So you just come to Jersey. I will show you all the cool spots. And I actually got to tour the Jersey Shore house too.
Oh, really? That's cool. Like, at the time?
Nobody's a few months ago. I'm actually going to make a video about it. Oh. As long as nobody's renting it, you could take a tour.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Who gives the tour? The owner?
The guys that work in the
production
shore store.
Get out! That's crazy.
I swear to God, 'cause I went to I was in Seaside a few months ago. So I was doing a charity walk, and I went to the shore store because it was like a few blocks away. And I stop in there from time to time. And the guy was like, "Do you want a tour?" I'm like, "What?
You want a tour?"
I think it was like $5-10, and you can see they had pictures of them. I got to hang out with the duck phone. Yeah.
Fair warning, I'm not very well versed, but that just sounds funny for being somebody who's not well versed.
I will explain it when we're not on the show. And then we got, like, if you look at the ceiling, you can see like the holes from where they had the cameras placed.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. And like I got to hang out in the confessional room and all that cool stuff.
Yes, Madre de Dios. I know what you're talking about, like the one-on-ones.
Yeah. Yes.
I just like the idea of like it being Jersey Shore. There's an Italian heritage. You're like, the confession room. Yes. I solemnly swear that I did not cheat on her.
2 seconds later.
I solemnly swear. Like, what is this, a courtroom?
Solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
I solemnly swear upon penalty of death. Wait, no, that's not how it goes, man. Like, I don't know. I swear to God. Anyway, yeah. So
Can we go back to fear now?
So speaking of segues,
would you have failed?
Yeah, I tried. Right? You gave me like just juicy bait, and I was just like, "Am I supposed to ignore this? Like, supposed to ignore this nugget that I can exploit?" No, and that's why we're talking about Daniel and the convoy. But I want to note one thing about the character from the last episode, Tess, whom they rescued, her and her boy. I love the fact that there's like, okay, Think about all the shows you've watched when you've grown up, as you were growing up. How Captain Kirk saves this person, then you never see them again.
Yep.
In this show, when you save somebody, you may end up seeing them again. There's continuity, and you see more than one scene with Tess in it. She's there's a reward quotient to actually saving this person. She's very useful.
And it wasn't even like she was in the background. It's oh, is that her? Is that not her? No, the camera purposely made a point to show her.
And Daniel purposely said her name in case he forgot her.
Exactly.
Yeah, so continuity, but then she even pulls out near the end, she says hey, I know this place sucks, but I saw a ranch down the road. And obviously there's a connection to what Morgan and Grace were talking about in the episode, but the fact that there's a ranch and that we could stay there, and there's use. Otherwise nobody would have spoken up. They wouldn't have a place to go after this, discovering that Logan was after them.
I'm actually shocked they didn't turn the mall into their home.
Well, I mean, I'm not, because it's clear that Logan knew that that's where they were.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not crystal clear, right? But it's clear enough to say,
it's
hey,
hinted, yeah.
Yeah, because Chuck, requested for help on an open channel, and they responded, or maybe they didn't respond because he gave them all this information.
Yeah, I don't know if they never really made it clear if they responded.
Right. It didn't sound like that. Yeah, because Grace was saying we didn't communicate over and over open channel, no breadcrumbs, etc. But I think this is close enough. They're too close so that they probably would find if they kept circling around.
Yeah.
So, but that's cool.
I'm just sick of them being on the run, because this is reminding me of when during regular Walking Dead, when they were trying to find Alexandria. After the prison, where they were all just trying to find their way. Right. And that part was getting really boring.
Yeah. And then, they meet, I was going to say Ross Marquand. They meet Aaron. Is that what you're talking about, in the barn? Yeah, when
they meet Ross, and they're trying to get, it was, right after Terminus. They're trying to get to Alexandria.
They're, in this low state, and the rain finally happens, and they open their mouths. And
that episode was a good one.
It's really
of the whole
tough,
barn thing. But, I mean, more so, after the prison... In between the prison and when they meet Ross.
Oh, okay.
Or Aaron. That was probably next to season 8. That was the other part that I hated the most. Wow. Just because it was nothing happening except for Beth dying. Nothing really happened.
Yeah, the Grady Memorial Hospital, etc., etc. And then getting Noah, and I guess. Right. I almost wonder what the point of that was. But whatever. What
I'm trying to get at is I'm just sick of being on the run. Just find a place.
Yeah, Nisa's saying the same thing. Just kill Logan and his men already. But that's the thing. That's the thing, though. They
want to kill him, even though I feel like they know they need to, but they won't. Because then it kind of goes back to with Morgan, it's my way or the highway. If you kill, you're out.
But I think, again, I think they're all on the same page. To the point where Alicia's even saying, this is not good for me. I've been doing this cleanup and killing and all that stuff. I killed what's his name? Mel.
Oh, Mel.
And I think ever since then, I think she's been screwed up, actually.
Well, it was because it was right after her mother.
And in cold blood.
She blamed Mel for the death of her mother.
Right. Even though I
Which Madison is not dead. What she thinks is dead.
Right. Let's
I had to clarify that.
I'm waiting for bombs to drop right now.
I had to clarify that. Before the bombs dropped.
Right. Just clarifying right now. Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, but I think that's the point, though. I think everybody in their mother is kind of I wouldn't putting this all on Logan. I think Morgan is the only one that really took what they were already trying to achieve and say, hey, not good enough. It's not good enough to just not kill, or not good enough to even just help. I think we missed something here. I think we need to live. I think we need to start living for ourselves. And which is the same thing that Rick and Michonne had come to the conclusion of, and I mentioned this in the last episode. So, and then all they did was agree, and they're just finding their own way of achieving that goal.
But I feel in this world, now obviously you and I don't live in this world.
No, I'm
so
a Eugene.
We can't really say anything. But I feel in that world, you at some point, I can understand you don't want to kill. At some point, you have to.
I think they all have been through that. I mean,
they have
that Regents class, or that class that they have to attend to pass the big test. But what happens after, right?
But I feel you just need to draw a line, be can we keep, deflecting, or are we going to have to fight?
Well, I don't think they're really even doing that just yet. We talk about deflecting. I think the only case we've seen where they've done that now from, here on in, let's say, is this whole Dwight and this dude. And it worked. So I guess, time will tell. But for him, that seemed to have been the right move. And it's all situational too. Morgan kind of alludes to this as well. Like in the moment, we have to be able to see that it's not just a binary solution. Like that there's that each moment is a situational moment, and that we have to treat it as its own thing. I don't know if he says it in this one, but I think he's mentioned this in either in the past or something like that. But like every moment is a chance. Like all life is precious. That all those lines, those buzzwords. So, each situation has its own unique opportunity for you to redirect. That's the thing. The only thing that's constant is that the idea that you can do it. You just have to be able to.
However, I will admit that even though I feel like they should just go after Logan and his men already, I am enjoying how action-packed this 5B is without going after humans.
Yeah. Between the walkers, I mean... Well, also, like, there's like a human quotient going on here. There's some growth going on here. The landmines itself, they're inanimate, but yet they're an adversary. Right. That's kind of cool.
They were pretty much in their own character last week.
Yeah, exactly. The environment, right? The environment is a variable.
Just like this week, the toy truck was a character,
and apparently the escalators. But I want to get to that in a bit.
Yeah. No, but like the toy truck was a character. In numerous ways, because not only did it serve a purpose, but they also mentioned it a couple times.
Right, the store alarm was an adversary.
The merry-go-round.
By the way, Nisa says Logan's life ain't precious.
I agree.
But you have to decide that, like, the wolf. It goes back to the thing with the wolf. Like, it did come back around and help him, the guy, when he finally let him go. But I do I kind of want to move past that though, and I do want to finish the whole Daniel and the convoy thing, because it's so funny that there's no award for best hot take, because if we
Daniel
did
at the end,
exactly, Daniel will get it. So
is it that?
Is there? So I'm really excited about this mall. So point me to the Cinnabon.
Yeah,
Sin City,
no, doesn't have it.
A bunnery?
Nope.
It's like, come on, man, this is a mall.
Well, that goes if they had that award a few episodes, Sarah would have won it.
Yeah,
when she was fixing
Sarah or John
Wendell.
Dory.
Oh, John Dory,
right? One or the other. Yeah, ugly mustard. All those hot takes.
I'm gonna go throw up now.
Oh man,
they instead of a combo Walker kill, they need a one-liner of the week.
Yeah, best one-liner, right?
Because Daniel would have won it, no problem.
It'll just be a big disgusting Walker mouth, laughing.
I feel like we should have that.
Oh, maybe.
Talking Dead is not happening for a while, so I think we need to start having it.
Well, there is another hot take, and it's not very obvious until Dwight basically reveals that he let the guy go. He's like, "Where you been?" Logan's men came after me. I'm doing right, took your example, and I guess it worked. And when he says, "Oh, I just let him go," Daniel has his hands under his armpits, crossed like this, and goes, "Oh, come on." You can let him go.
Come on.
Which kind of goes back to when he first appeared in the season, and I said, "Dude, don't keep your eye off this guy. He's just works. He works he leads you in with his subtle acting, and then he'll pop, and he'll lead you in and pop, and just the eye roll was so strong with that. I was just, if you miss it, go back and watch it.
That was ad lib too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It had to have been.
I'm 100%. They kept that shit in because it's too good.
They've been getting really good with the ad-libbing in this season.
I can't even imagine. Between Garrett Dillahunt and the Mindy Project and Mo Collins and every other project.
Oh, I love Mo Collins.
Oh my God, those two, being able to ad-lib and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They must have learned so. At least Garrett Dillahunt must have learned so much in that show. Well, I mean, he had the other show, Raising Hope. Yeah, which is also pretty cool. My wife actually watches that one, or has watched that one. She'll probably watch it over and over again. That's what she does.
I'm currently rebinging Real Housewives,
So what? What fight?
I agree with your wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough said.
Yeah, you're right, girl.
Knew I liked her.
Dwight finally getting his haircut.
Oh yes.
That was kind of cool.
Yes.
That was kind of cool. Why? Okay, so I do kind of want to ask a question about why do you think he finally did that? Do you think maybe because he trusts himself or something?
Yeah, I feel like it's just a layer being peeled back finally. So he's trusting himself a little more. So the mustache was his beard was kind of a layer, it's kind of hiding part of his truth in a way.
It's kind of interesting concept because like in Judaism, there's like a concept of like, you know, growing your beards out and not, you know, like not shaving, not making yourself presentable. Like, you know, just because you're focusing on like studies and doing right. But like, I think maybe because Dwight is like on this mission and he just didn't focus on anything other but then finding Sherry for a year and a half or whatever. And that's the best facial hair he can do. Anyway, but but I find it very interesting. Do you think, and so, I mean, that aside, like we had this conversation about like how, oh, his facial hair is a prosthetic. Like, but looking at like Daniel snipping his beard off and stuff like that, it looked real, right?
I feel like what they did was, I mean, he had to have shaved his beard at some point or cut it off during that 18 months. There's no way that could have been the result of 18 months straight. I feel like they probably did cut his real one. Mm-hmm.
Like that it was real the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like it was real the whole time.
Except for reshoots, let's just be fair.
Except for reshoots. And then they probably, for the part that was like in the burn area, I feel like that was probably adhesive.
Yeah, that would have, maybe.
It had to have been.
Yeah.
Because think about it, that on touching your beard, when you're a guy, so think about that touching your beard and having it be ripped off every week.
Ugh.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't really grow so much hair in that area either, by the way. So
no, I know, but I'm saying there's always going to be like little, you know, prickles.
Yeah. Ugh. I can't even imagine over scar tissue or something like that. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, Nisa's saying a bunch of things. She's saying like Daniel will probably kill Logan. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see that too. But do you think he'll be tested though? I mean, I think he may be in the same scenario that Dwight was in this episode.
Yeah, except I feel like Daniel will, because if you notice when they were showing like previously on, he'll say, "I want to be the man that my daughter would be proud to call her dad."
Exactly, it's a setup.
So he still carries all that guilt from with Ophelia dying.
And if he just kills a man in cold blood, you know,
exactly, because when Ophelia found out the truth about who her father was, you could tell the look, she was broken, and knowing she was broken broke him. So he's still trying to better himself. And
you could argue also that her knowing about her father may have gotten her killed too, but like so, in a calculus way, you know,
like not indirectly.
Indirectly, but like maybe she thought, oh, it's in my genes, so obviously, you know,
right? My father's a killer. I could be a killer,
right?
Little did you know.
And she, like in a way,
not her father's daughter.
She not only killed others, you know, made them sick, but she got herself killed.
Exactly.
Ugh.
So still, the fact that they purposely chose that particular quote, it shows that he is still battling those inner demons of, you know, he probably wants to go out and kill Logan. Like, yeah, okay.
Well, do you remember what he said last episode? We should have shut his mouth up. Exactly. Like something like that.
Exactly. So he wants to do it,
right,
but he's trying not to because he wants to be the man his daughter would be proud to call her dad.
Right. I don't think he knows not to, but like he just finds a way to
he's ready to go off, but he's trying to like suppress it.
Well, I mean, judging from the preview, it looks like we do have these like he and Charlie interactions that will probably make it that much harder not to, you know, that much harder to get to that point. Like, and if he does get to that point, it may be harder to kill Logan.
And I feel like...
Which I don't support necessarily. Like, I think Logan is out of his fucking mind.
Oh, Logan is apeshit crazy.
But I don't think that changes, like, how we should interact with him. Because I do think that there are some people that will not listen to reason who are mentally ill, like Martha.
Yes.
You know, like, I don't know... Well, I guess that's not fair to say. Like, people don't just suddenly snap. If Martha was mentally ill, she was always mentally ill. But then there are things like psychotic breaks, right? But anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, when you have your issues, you're able to deal with it. But then one thing happens, like the love of your life being killed,
right,
and the fact that nobody helps, it's just the gears just stop.
Yeah,
done.
I could tell that you were a little bit more sympathetic to the Martha character than most people.
Me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I'm curious why you say that.
I think because of what you just said now. Like, the way you said it was like, I think you still hated the Martha character.
I did.
As a concept.
But I feel absolutely horrible the way she became the way she did.
Right. I love the directing of that, what's his name?
I don't remember the director.
Oh, it was, what's his name? It was not Daniel Day-Lewis, damn it. Fucking La Bamba. I can't remember his name.
Diamond Phillips.
Yes, Lou Diamond Phillips. Thank you. I said Diamond before, and I was like, yes, Lou Diamond.
I had to think about that one for a minute.
Damn, I'm like, even if I know the dude, sometimes names just don't come up really quickly. But Lou Diamond Phillips directed that episode. It was great.
No, he did a fantastic job. And you know what? The woman who played Martha, I can't remember her name. Was it Tanya Pinkerton or something?
Tanya Pinkins. Yeah.
Yeah, Pinkins.
That I know.
Close. That was close. But she did a phenomenal job as Martha. It was just the writing of her character is what killed it for most people.
Yeah. Well, the concept,
the directing. It was the concept, essentially.
Yeah.
But you know, I've seen situations where, you know, me personally, I have dealt with situations where people were very mentally unstable throughout my life, and I understand how they got to be the way they are, and it kills me that they're that way, but I understand where they're coming from, so I really had to learn to accept them for who they are and try to help from there.
Right.
Not like, you got to stop being this way, knock it off. Really like, okay, you know what? I understand this is what happened, so we're going to try to play it out from this chapter. And with Martha, you know, you actually really got to see how she, you know, I like, we talked about this a few weeks ago about the whole purpose of backstories.
Right.
How I was saying I was really hoping for a Negan backstory in 10.
Right.
But like backstories do play a part, especially in Martha's case, because we didn't know how she got to be the way she was, but then we saw it, so we got to understand it.
Yeah, like
that's what made me sympathetic.
And even then, like, it was basically when things were going down, so it's not much of a backstory.
No, but it was enough to, like, we don't know how unstable she was prior to this, but it was enough to get us by. So not an entire episode, but enough.
Right. It's kind of like a Twilight Zone episode where you get this narrative along the way and via flashbacks.
Not only that, so not only did she lose the only person she had in her life, she was also isolated for all this time.
Yeah.
And isolation, we literally just talked about it tonight, how isolation can
kill you,
fuck you up.
Yeah.
So you add that onto the already mental unstableness of a person, and that is how she got to be how she was.
Yeah, isolation with instability. Whereas with Dwight, you have isolation with contemplation. Contemplation, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
I know English good. Anyways.
I love how we're like comparing Dwight to like a character from last season that like nobody liked.
In a way, though, yeah, there is something about that, right?
There are parallels.
There's so many like little things that we can pick up and say, hey, what about this and this? And like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're done with that though, because there are some other things at the end, but they don't make sense until we go through them all.
Right.
Which, yeah. Okay. No,
there's a thing I want to talk about at the end that got me.
Okay.
But we have to go through them all first. I agree.
Right. So I'm going to combine a couple things. So, like, I mean, one thing, I was wrong about the Candy Beansies, okay? I thought she had, like, a brain tumor because she didn't know how to say the name. Say it right, Grace. It's Jelly Beans.
Jelly Beans.
But it was kind of so adorable, too. And, like, in my head, because she kept saying it in the episode, I was like, now I'm going to say Candy Beansies from here on in.
I feel like if you say it around the community, like the fandom, you can get away with it.
Oh my God.
Storm, like, I want Candy Beansies. They'd be like, what the hell?
But now your brain is just going to say that every single time you see a jelly bean. It's like, oh, fuck. Like,
can I get some jelly beans, please?
I don't know if I'm going to say it out loud, but like in your head, you know that annoying thing, like when you look at something and you think of a song, it's like, oh shit, forever I'm going to look at this thing and think of that song.
Baby shark.
Oh, fuck off. Not this show. I have nieces and nephews. It's too much.
You're welcome.
Oh, man. Now, every time I think of Squawking Dead, I'll think of Baby Shark. Ugh. And I hate Shark Week. I think it's pointless.
Oh, I live for Shark Week.
I know. Everybody does.
All right. Anyway, get back to the episode.
Yes.
Candy Beansies.
So the point is being I was wrong. But that's okay. I'm okay with being wrong. How about you?
I'm enjoying watching you admit that you were wrong.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally wrong. And but I wasn't wrong about like her possibly having a condition. I kind of want to talk about her decision to not know. Like, if you were her with her history of what you know little about, but would you do the same thing?
You know, it's one of those things. I've been dealing, you know how I said, like, my friend passed away. Well, she passed away of a sickness. So she didn't want to know. Oh. Now, I feel like I've had this discussion with my mom this past week, actually. And she says she thinks she would want to know. Me, I can't answer that because it's one of those things where unless you were in that situation, you do not know how you would react.
Well, the easy way to put that hypothetical to you is like, in her situation, she knows she does not know. She knows that there's nothing she could do about it.
Right.
So, like, if you were in that situation, would you want to know? Some people still want to know.
No, because then, say she finds out that, okay, it's not cancer and it's just a cold. Okay. Next time it hits, she might think, hey, it's just a cold when really it's cancer.
Oh, right.
So I feel like she just wants to keep living her life, live each day as if it's her last, even though I don't agree with that sentiment. But just keep on trying to do good in the world.
Well, no, and I think Grace agrees with you when you say I don't agree with that sentiment. I think she just the fact that by the end of the episode she changes it from double time to normal time.
Yeah,
speaks volumes. It's like I'm just gonna be a human in the world.
Yeah,
doing my thing. If I get sick, I get sick. I'm gonna start things I'm never gonna finish. Like that was a very good, interesting way of looking at her situation. Like listening to things in double time, okay, well now I'm gonna and I'll get to it, but the one thing you see her try out, a thing that she starts that she knows she can't finish, is like her addressing Morgan's pain in the middle of a mall, surrounded by walkers, like who can
surrounded,
who can bust in at any time, and she asks him about Dwayne and Jenny, basically, essentially, mostly Dwayne. But like, and she's trying this out. Like she's trying this thing out. And I admire her for doing that. And she knows that it can't be fixed in a day. Morgan snaps back.
I felt like that was a little bit of a slap in the face, though.
Of Morgan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But that goes to the character, though. It goes to what he's
gone through.
How he does not want to talk about it.
Yeah.
How little he wants to.
But I do like how he opened up when they were in the generator.
Yeah. Because he's taking a chance too. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, be careful what you risk. Right? Because you might have to continue.
Well, because he's afraid to get close to people because of everything he's lost in his life between Dwayne and Jenny. Now he's starting to open up, and he knows there's a chance that even if Grace was never exposed to radiation, there's a chance in general that she can just die from a walker bite. Yeah. And now you have this radiation element to it. There's a chance she might die from that. So he's probably a little afraid to get close to her, knowing that, the stakes are even higher than they normally would be.
Oh, no. It's not even that anymore. This has nothing to do with that anymore. With Morgan? No.
No, I'm not saying entirely, partially.
Oh, yeah, maybe partially. But I think he's moved
partially.
But I think he's moved past that. And that's the problem. It's like Morgan talked a big game in the first episode. When he was talking to Alicia about opening the door to possibility, the impossible is possible.
In 5?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I was on the right path.
Yeah. And part of doing that and saying that to Alicia is living up to your own statements.
I agree.
Which means, like, dude, you have to own up to that, because opening the door to possibilities means also opening the door to life, to living a life, and that's very interesting. And I didn't think of that until we were talking about this now, like, in a sense, like, and he started to, and he closed that shit right down, because that's the thing. Like, once you start opening the door to possibility, you just you have to walk through, and then you just gotta
one step forward and 2 steps back.
Oh man, I mean,
I
hope he takes more steps forward, but boy.
And then driving away from, I keep on wanting to say Karen, you driving away from Grace, that's what I wanted to talk about at the end.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that.
But I will just sample that little tidbit for now.
Yeah, but Lonnie basically says something very, like, what we're all thinking is, like, she got Morgan to a point that no one in either series has been able to get him to. Yeah,
I agree fully.
I mean, you can credit also the show, but then there's Grace in this episode, just nudging him a little bit further, and not in a bad way.
It all in one shot. She's like kind of leading the trail of breadcrumbs, which is funny because they said they left no breadcrumbs.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, they're trying to help each other.
Yeah.
He's asking her questions too. Mm-hmm. So he's tempting fate. Well, he's tempting her fate there, and then you realize that, like, she was what he is kind of being now.
Yeah.
Running away, backing off. And so it's very interesting to see these two different crisscross paths right now. And she's taking a chance on him, It's good to see these two interact.
I enjoy their interactions a lot. And like I said, as much as I dislike Morgan, I was rooting for them.
Yeah.
Because then I got really mad at Morgan. I was like,
you don't dislike Morgan. Like, you just don't like him too much as a character. Like, is it that you don't think he's a strong character, or
I just don't like the way he's being written.
Okay.
Like, I feel like throwing it back to Walking Dead. In the pilot, I loved him. When we saw him again, crazy in season 3, I loved him.
You did? Okay.
Oh yeah, but I thought his acting was like Lenny's performance.
I was broken, but yeah.
Yeah, I was broke. Like, I mean, I didn't love it because I loved him being crazy. I loved it because it was such a strong portrayal.
Yeah,
and you can really see the craziness that he's gone through.
Yeah,
you know, the writing. Literally, the writing was on the wall. Literally. And even when we kind of saw him in 5, I was okay with it. But then when it started getting more and more and more, I was like, all right, I'm getting a little tired of constant Morgan. And then they ship him off to Fear, where he becomes the protagonist, where it should have been Alicia the whole time.
Well, to be fair to Morgan, on The Walking Dead is like... I mean, I'm trying to think of how to put this. It's like, I think he was supposed to be a foil for like the way people have been. Kind of like how Father Gabriel was this odd character also to kind of contrast these people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And like Morgan is strange because he's been on both sides and now he's walking a different path.
But see, like, even like with Father Gabriel, I feel like they're running out of things to do with him.
I think we'll find utility for him.
Well, now with the whole baby thing, yeah.
Sure. Like that and maybe more.
Yeah.
It seems like he's taking on a more like combat role too. Like,
I hope so.
And that one scene with him and with Negan and Aaron, he does have blood all over him.
That was, I think, my favorite part of the trailer.
Well, there you go, man.
Peanut butter, meat jelly.
It's that he's moving into these kind of funny lines, one-liners and stuff like that.
But
like, I'm sick of this
Morgan,
shit.
Yeah. No, but bringing it back to Morgan, I just feel like, you know, I don't know.
Do you think, okay, I'll put it this way. Do you kind of like him a little bit better now than you've ever liked him before? Oh, no. well, not like before the clear phase. Sorry. I meant sorry.
I feel like they're just holding on to him more than they should.
Actually, so I in my notes, I even wrote down the fact that Morgan's actually my favorite character. There's something about his pain, how he hasn't been able to move on. And even like throwing the concept of Martha as, you know, I'm trying to put the right words to this because I didn't dislike Martha actually per se. I like the concept of, or the idea of Martha. I just thought the execution was a little off, right? Like, but the fact that she existed was like a reckoning. Is like, do you know? Okay, and since you're a video game person, it's like Shadow Link. Like Martha was Shadow Morgan. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And having that there was kind of like pulling a tooth for Morgan. Like yanking that last bit of, you know, knowing that you don't have to lose people, you don't have to lose yourself. Or even if you do lose people, you don't have to lose yourself.
Also, Martha was proof that you can't save everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people just cannot be saved. They are too far off the cliff.
And that's okay.
Pulled back over.
And that the point is that's okay.
And that is okay. Because you are not trying to bring this to a religious aspect. You are not God.
Right.
You are a human being that can only help so many people. And I feel like they need to...
And they lay this out really well in the first episode. He kind of admits to himself, you know, we have to open the door to possibility, and then we will lose people. Yeah.
And I feel like they need to kind of start being a little selfish and start worrying about their own community.
Yeah.
Instead of constantly trying to help, maybe just practice surviving.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's why it's kind of moving in an interesting direction to where they help because of absolution. Now they're encouraging people to help others because it can't be all about them. It's kind of like what you're saying. In a way, it's like it can't be all about us. We need help just as much as you do. All we're trying to say is if you start helping others, people will help you and so on and so forth. And that's how you build civilization.
Now, unless they're doing all of this to start up their own community, like an Alexandria type thing, then I can understand. But I feel like they're going to get to a point where they're spreading themselves so thin that it's going to backfire.
Well, that's the thing. I think the whole point of that would be to start separating these convoys. Like when you have enough people, you can start resettling into different communities. Do you know what I mean? Like spreading out a little bit and not...
So like the Hilltop, Alexandria, Oceanside type thing.
Yeah, because you don't want a repeat of Rick's thing where Rick was trying to like legislate top down. Like, this is what we want to do. This is my path. This is my idea.
Right, and that's
all of you should be on board
right now. That's exactly what I feel like is happening right now.
I think it's the opposite. I do think there's a distributed method of, because that's the message. The message is it's not about. It's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna say it. Rick's an asshole, but let me go further and say that part of what I like about what's going on now here and what it's starting to look like is it's Rick's original vision from right after the prison. Like, it can't just be about me, like me leading.
Okay,
it's about us and we rule together or whatever it is.
I do see what you're saying. However,
like Morgan's doing it better is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I-
Or not
I-
Morgan, it's everybody.
I just feel like there's still that sense of, how we talked about like my way or the highway?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like there's still that sense.
With Morgan, I don't think
Yeah.
so. I'll respectfully disagree on that one because
Okay.
I don't. I will keep. Well, now that you say it, I'm going to keep my eye out for it. But
It's just interpretation.
yeah,
And it's just something to be aware of. Like, I may watch next week's episode or the following week because it doesn't look like there's much Morgan next week. But I may watch the next Morgan-centered episode and start thinking differently. But then again, you might have that same situation.
right. Well, let me give you a little hope because it looks like first of all that they're starting to focus on like whereas in the beginning of the season they focus on everybody at once, sort of mostly.
Which I liked.
They're starting to focus on groups of people now in different episodes, which I kind of like actually also because nothing beats that bottle episode "Close Your Eyes" from last year with Alicia and Charlie.
Yeah. Oh, that was...
Right. This episode was...
That was a powerhouse.
This episode was kind of similar in that vein. Not as much because it was more than just those two. It was like Daniel, Tess. It was like Dwight and the
Yeah,
dude.
they didn't really come in till the end anyway. So that
Right.
doesn't really count.
But not exactly.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though.
If they could have just done all of them in the mall, it would have been similar, but not quite as impactful and dark and whatever.
I like how it is centered in one location.
Yeah, exactly. It was all bottle.
Like, there's movies like the movie Free Fire, for example. I don't know if you've ever seen it with like Brie Larson. That movie takes place all in one location in maybe a 2-hour time span. So you're watching a movie for 2 hours and it's all happening in like almost in real time.
Yeah.
So that's why I love movies and TV shows that do that.
Okay.
So this episode was a good example of it.
Yeah. Or that episode, rather. Yeah.
Yeah, this tonight's episode.
Oh,
yeah.
tonight's episode? You felt it was like,
I felt it was a great example of it. I mean, yeah, time did pass with Dwight because, he was in the daytime, then it was in the nighttime.
Yeah.
And then it was the next day. But for about 80% of the episode, it took place in...
That's fair. Oh, yeah, like a cool 75-70 because like there's the end part too where they time
Well, that's why I
passes.
said 80, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll agree to that. I will say, giving you a little hope about Alicia, right? Because it looks like Alicia and Strand are in the next episode.
Yes.
And not to go too far into the sneak peeks, but I do think we need to try to, not wrap it up necessarily, but like move on.
I do have to go soon, actually.
Exactly. So I was thinking like Alicia does seem to try to want to find her way, and I do think the whole purpose of that would be to kind of maybe even more fall back into like some sort of leadership position. I think that's maybe part of the purpose, or at least find her way to know what her path is next. Because maybe she moves on and these two groups may end up separating. You never know.
Right.
Like Alicia may go on a different path with Strand, and maybe Charlie goes on a different path with Daniel, and maybe that's how Fear kind of. And it looks like Sarah and Dwight are in a cab, and I didn't see Wendell in that one scene in the 5B trailer. That's very interesting, right?
Yeah, because it makes you wonder what happens and where is he.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have to pinpoint one thing from this episode, though. It's very, very beginning. So if you missed the first few minutes, you pretty much missed this. The coolest kill of the night goes to Dwight.
Banging the dude's head in the door?
Banging the dude's head against the boards. That was by far the coolest kill of the night.
I thought, do you remember seeing the bird in the beginning, too? Like, there was something interesting about that.
I think there may have been like a hole or something, and that's how the bird got in.
In the mall tree, right?
Yes.
But what's interesting about that is that Chuck must have like kept watering it too.
Yeah.
I just love the thought of how that maintaining that tree tells you a lot about Chuck's character. And then
I feel like he had the mentality that like, life is precious, even the life of a bird,
right? Well,
and the life of a tree.
Yeah, I guess so. And then maintaining the tree, making the podcast, or not the podcast, but the audiobooks available for Grace, like knowing that she was going to play them double time, so like putting particularly long ones in there. Mm-hmm. So I just thought that was kind of, I like how you can infer so much about a character, because I grew up on the Twilight Zone, so it's kind of like, I love how you can infer so much about a story just based on just a few little tidbits in dialogue.
Chuck kind of reminded me of Augie in a way.
Oh, you mean
the beer guy,
Jim Brower.
Yeah.
Well, he was more
Jimbo,
snarky and cynical, though.
Wait, no, there's a reason.
Except when it came to his beer.
But there's a reason I say that.
Mm-hmm, okay.
Because how we got to see so little of him, but yet we all miss him.
Yeah, I guess that's interesting.
He made that impact.
Yeah, there's something to that, isn't it?
And like Chuck, he made the impact with Grace's playlist and the birds, and you see him. All he wants to do is one little thing.
Yeah, to be
and
buried out in the stars.
Jimbo wanted was his beer.
Yeah. Oh, that beer. And she still can't get the recipe right.
No. The beard sucks.
Jimbo's spinning around in his grave right now.
Oh yeah.
I did want to get into like the Tale of Two Cities thing. Like, I'm gonna really rattle out the first few lines only because what's really cool is that like the Tale of Two Cities is almost nothing to do with what they're doing. Like, there's a bit of revolution, but
they chose the perfect lines.
There are like these really perfect lines. It was like the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on its being received, for good or for evil, in the superlative degree of comparison only. So, like, I think that's kind of where they're at, too. You're in the apocalypse, yet you're in the best position right now. Like,
right.
There's evil surrounding us, but there's so much good. You know, it's like no better way of describing what they're going through right now.
Absolutely.
So, I just enjoyed, like, they're not, anyway. Moving along. Oh, so here's the thing. And it didn't occur to me right now until, and you may disagree because of all your Morgan talk, but like when I saw them dropping the RC car with the scoops in the back, and then Grace sees Morgan smile and they talk about it, etc., I like just came to the realization, like, Morgan wasn't, I don't think Morgan was supposed to stay alive. I think he dies in the comic, like, not early on, but like kind of midway through, right?
I don't really read the comics, so I can't answer that.
Oh, okay. So I think somebody would have to correct the record with me on that one. But what I was going to get to was, and even on the show, I think having it be Morgan that moves on to Fear is very interesting because Morgan and Rick were there at the beginning in the pilot.
Right.
And I think one writer sees like Lenny James's his character's evolution and starts to think to himself, or it could be like a Gimple thing. He goes, there is so much story to be told with this character, and you may disagree, but like I think there's something there. There's pain that needs resolution. Like it's kind of like the not letting Abe like on a grander scale, obviously, but like not letting Abraham die, the way Dr. Denise died, like manufacturing the Dr. Denise death to kind of save Abe that sudden death. Like, he needed to go out the right way.
I agree to an extent, but now I feel like they're just they're running out.
You think they're running out? I think, only because...
they ran out. And
only because of the end, right?
Well, the end of this episode,
yeah.
Or? Yes and no. I just feel like there is just like, all right, dude, okay, we get it. Even if they keep Morgan on just to set the pace of what the future of Fear should be, and then they kill him off.
Yeah, maybe.
I kind of feel like that's kind of what they're leading up to.
Yeah, you remember my swan song theory.
What?
You remember my swan song theory.
Right. So especially since he left at the end, he's like, oh, I'm going to go find Al. I think he's going to I think his time is going to end at the end of 5B.
Interesting.
I'm not saying this because I dislike him. I'm just looking at it at his pattern and the way his character has been developing.
I feel like the only way he can die is if we put him in a situation where like
a martyr.
Yeah, well, I think he'll die stupidly. That's the thing. But like after resolving something that had not been resolved.
Like Carl stupidly, or?
Well, I guess stupid in terms of like this universe. Like, okay, you'll die from a paper cut, or like he'll die by falling or something like that.
Stupidest of things, not because he was stupid.
Or like not by zombies or not by getting sick or whatever. You know what I mean?
Nature and the people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want him to too. Like, I still think I see a world in which he like continues on, but like there's so much there. And I do kind of applaud the writers for doing this because there's something about like giving giving more dimension to his character because he is an interesting character. He is an interesting actor, Lenny James. Like, there's something very compelling about Morgan's story and how he was abused in The Walking Dead. Like, oh yeah, maybe I'd say yes, a little bit by writers in a way, but also by Rick. In the situation, what he's been through, how he's been tried to like heal himself and failed.
I have to compare Morgan to Dwight in that aspect.
Yeah.
Because you know how earlier tonight I was saying how Dwight was under Negan's spell with all the abusiveness? Morgan was under Rick's spell with all the abusiveness.
Morgan was under Rick's spell, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, he was kind of like Rick's pawn.
Right. To kind of compare apples to apples in a way, but yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, in a way. Because Morgan still considers, Rick a friend, like as an equal.
Right.
Even though we'll disagree, I defer to your judgment, Rick. whatever.
Right.
By the way, Nisa's saying Madison will kill Morgan. It's a very interesting theory.
That Madison will kill Morgan?
Yeah.
Oh.
That would be interesting, right? Yeah, well, Lonnie said I knocked myself out after you said that, Nisa.
Okay, gears are going.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's keep that in the back of our heads as we move on.
That supports my theory.
So part of what I was saying before about like how Grace is letting her take a chance on him as she talks about the horse story, about the relationship story later on at the Jenny Jones. Anyway, so but like it's prescient. But like I just love how all the while she's telling him about these people she never took a chance on because it was like their existing relationship was too perfect. I don't want to ruin that or do any better. Like I don't want to risk ruining it, losing it. Like what's perfect in her mind in the moment, not starting things she can't finish. These are all perfectionist things, by the way. These aren't necessarily things like taking risks. It's perfectionism.
No.
Like
it's also anxiety too.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but all the while she's trying to get closer to Morgan through this process, or at least try to help him resolve his issue, because she loves him. Let's just say it. Let's call a spade here.
She cried when he left. Of course she loved him.
I actually was surprised at that.
That's what got me.
Did you think that would happen? Like I didn't see that coming, actually.
I thought that I knew she was going to be upset. I did not expect the tear.
You know what they did, right? They did the same, like in the same kind of way. They kind of crafted it in such a way that they pulled like an Isabel and Althea.
Yeah.
Kind of situation, right?
Yeah. There was this chance at love, and it's ripped out from under her.
And it was a completely different situation.
Absolutely,
scenario.
yeah.
Yeah. Like Althea and Isabel, their situation sort of happened in a way different way.
Right.
Like with the Morgan and Grace, it was kind of a sleeper in a way.
Morgan got Grace to open up. Isabel got Al to open up.
But like in like completely different ways. But
Absolutely.
like them, it was like mutual respect. Like but with Grace and Morgan, it was kind of like just talking and being open to them, which is completely different than Althea and Isabel.
It was natural.
Yeah, it was natural. It's like they've been friends forever. You know what I mean? Right. Mutual caring for each other, wanting to resolve each other's, talking about each other's problems. Like the thing that they, like Morgan it's all about him needing help to say goodbye. Right. With Grace, it's like learning how to say hello. Isn't that fucking weird?
Because with Grace, kind of like what you said, she's afraid to start something she can't finish. So she's afraid of getting close to someone because of them leaving. Then she never gets to finish that relationship.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what really kills me about the end. And like, I'll jump to the end because like I think we need to do that, and just in case, and then we'll just fill out the middle. But I think that's what's interesting about what happens is that like after taking this chance, it's like her worst fear is confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have this scenario where she takes a chance and the horse bites her.
Absolutely.
But it's kind of like the parable about the scorpion on the what was the scorpion needs to a lift across the river, and I think he enlists I'm going to say a turtle.
I know the story you're talking about, and then he bites the turtle.
Like, what did you expect in a way? Like, there is an element of that.
A scorpion will always be a scorpion.
Yeah, but Morgan also, like, the thing about Morgan is he kind of did warn her in a weird way. He warned us too. Is that it's not something that's gonna be fixed in a day.
Yeah,
and that's the saddest part. And I hope that Grace knows that. Hey Grace, girl, he told you, so you just need to either hang in there. I feel like she
did accept it. I feel like she accepted that, but she wasn't expecting his abrupt leaving. Now, one of the reasons I feel like he did leave, he had to go to Al, but I feel like he was like, oh my god, I started opening up. I can't do this, and he leaves.
Do you remember the scene? It was Daniel basically saying, "What are you smiling about?" Like he was like looking at the carousel and with his big goofy ass grin.
Yeah.
And like, what are you smiling about? I was like, no reason. And
it's almost as if he doesn't want to be happy. He just wants to be miserable.
It's man, fucking Lenny James, man. It's just, he's haunting the good because he looks back at the carousel and and I wrote this down. I actually want to read what I wrote because I think in the moment I was like really, I was really on fire right there. Morgan suddenly realizes that maybe he's forgotten about Dwayne, forgotten about Jenny, and then retreats. Like that horrifying realization that for a moment I forgot about my son and I forgot about Jenny. Like this is what it like. Doing what I did just now made me forget about them, and that's horrible. And that really broke me a little. Like that broke me in my guts.
And that's one of the reasons he left.
Yeah, like in that look on his face, like him just like suddenly realizing it, his smile kind of contract into a shaky lip and teeth, and that was like fuck, man. And I thought then last night when I was watching it, I was like, fuck Andrew Lincoln. Fuck that. Like, this guy
Fuck
gets
Rick.
it. This guy gets it. This guy, Lenny James, gets the award for best actor, not supporting actor. Like, best actor in a series. Like, between him and Ruben Blades, by the way. Like, because Ruben's, like, subtle. I don't think he has high highs and low lows. Like, he's just right there in the middle. But, like, Lenny James, man, he can pop off and then go down. And he can pop off and he can go down.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen him pop off in a while.
No.
But, like, this was, like, low, man. This was something.
Bottom of the barrel.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's lower than we've seen him lately.
Yeah.
And that's why I was kind of like, oh man, and you could see, what's really great about his acting is that, like, as you see him getting in the car, looking back in the rearview mirror, right? And then looking at Grace, he knows what he's doing. He can't stop himself. Like, he knows he can't, he's crying, you know, for the first time in a very long time. I can't even recall, can you recall the last time he cried, period?
No.
I can't.
But I do like that they purposely made him grip the wheel with his left hand to show his wedding ring.
Ooh, snap, I missed that. Good for you.
Yep. If you notice, you see him, he grabs the wheel with his left hand, and you can see the ring clear as day.
Damn it. Yep, wedding ring in front of him.
Yep.
I look like that.
As he's wiping his tear, and meanwhile with his other hand, he's fixing. So you see Grace
and Grace behind him,
and the wedding ring all in the same shot.
Oh my god. I literally, by the way, I was like sitting on the couch after watching it the first time with my wife, and I'm like, I need to tell you about this. I need to tell you about this character. And I'm like I know, I'm like sitting there crying, telling her about this what
about Morgan?
Yeah, exactly. Which again, like, further solidifies the fact that, like, this guy is my favorite character. Like, I may not like all his decisions, but I, like, there's just something about him that I can forgive that because of what he's been through. Like, he has he has the most, like, in my opinion, like what do you call it? Like, sympathetic. Like, you could say sympathetic character, in my opinion. Like, sympathetic, complex, range of emotions, kind of, and then evolution too of a character.
He has had a big evolution.
You get this, like, stretched out, long, different phases of Morgan, which is so crazy, man. It's so crazy.
I just kind of feel like, how can I word this? Like, with the whole, how he keeps saying, oh, we're not doing right, we're doing careful, or whatever.
We're not doing careful, we're doing right. Yeah.
Right. I just feel like all he's been doing, now I guarantee you will disagree with this. I feel like all he's been doing for, like, the past year has been talking the talk. And I feel like he's putting some plans into motion, right? But I feel like he's just, like, spewing off all these phrases to get the group inspired. But meanwhile, he's not doing anything for himself.
Yeah.
But he's so focused on helping everyone else. I said it early
in the episode.
Yeah.
And
that I'm just like, dude, like, if you want to better yourself, you need to fix this.
You know what the parallel is now too? Mm-hmm. Like, compare Dwight, who, by the way, like, had every reason to not for all of that not to work out.
Right.
And every reason to not trust himself.
Right.
But
Dwight is trusting it more than Morgan.
But that worked out. And Morgan did not work out. Like, man. And now we're comparing pain, by the way. Like, it's hard to, like, but I guess if you had to judge, like, is Morgan's pain just that much deeper?
See,
and I don't want to ask this question.
In a way, yes, because Morgan was so distraught over his wife's death that he let Dwayne die.
Oh God, damn!
He failed his son.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So think about it. Say if you had a son and you dropped your guard for a second and he died in that moment.
Right. And it's never more prescient than when he's saying it in the bar with Rick. He's like,
"Yep.
Yeah. What made you, like, you had your son?" And then Morgan realizes, I didn't. Fuck. That's the worst. Because
he couldn't bring himself, and I get it. He couldn't bring himself to, kill Jenny. I mean, it goes right back into that. If you were in that situation, could you do it?
Right. So
he couldn't bring himself to do it, and in retaliation.
Yeah, and that's what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you blame yourself forever.
Right. But, I understand that that's a guilt that he'll hold for the rest of his life, but he has to actually start listening to all the advice he's giving out.
Right. And that's
one of those things. Like I relate to this. I can give people all the advice, but I won't take my own advice.
Well, let me talk you off a ledge a little bit, because it looks like by the end of the episode, and just to kind of bring it, some of the things we've been saying full circle, like Grace moves on to her education. Like I think Grace has reached a point where she may try reaching out again. Like this is a muscle that she's ready to exercise now. She's ready to start living. I don't think her thing with Morgan is going to knock her back infinitesimally back.
No, she's going to, because she learned that she has to, how we started saying, she learned that she has to be able to start something that she can't finish in a day. Morgan is that one project.
Right. Her life is bigger than just one guy.
She's going to test it in other elements, whether it's, with some of the newcomers, like Tess, for example, or, maybe listening, well, we already saw it with listening to the audiobooks at normal speed, or maybe something with, maybe she will eventually find out what her sickness is.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen the last of them all.
That's true. That's also true. And I think now we're at this point where like Morgan Morgan, I don't think it's over for Morgan. I think this is like, look, it's just a setback. Like time will tell. Grace is still around. His wife is not. Dwayne is not. So I think there'll be no, I think this is the cost of opening the door to that possibility. I think now he has no choice but to kind of confront these things. And he's going to go on another Morgan journey now, I think.
Yeah.
With Al, it turns out in the next episode, and confronting Logan, just kind of segueing to sneak peeks.
Dun, 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 dun.
So yeah, because it looks like and you see anger Morgan, like I'm going to kill you, Morgan, in that scene.
I'm ready for that.
Which is interesting because like this is maybe the test. This is, and then maybe if he could come back from that and and not do what
not go psycho Morgan,
which he hasn't done, not really. Since he almost slipped back into clear mode in the satellite station, I think it was. Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. The only thing I kind of wanted to bring up, because it's worth bringing up because we brought it up a couple weeks ago when we were covering the 5B trailer. I wish Rachel was here, because that whole escalator scene, I was dying.
Oh my God, that was great.
It was great. And while I was watching it, I was laughing.
I was thinking of Rachel, actually.
I was laughing hysterically because I wanted them to do things that would make Rachel never want to get on an escalator ever again. And they didn't, but I thought they were going to do it. Like, I'm going to stuff a walker down in the grill right there.
But no, the closest I got was they grabbed the walker and dragged him. I was like, damn it.
Damn it. Why can't we make Rachel not want to get on an escalator ever again?
I have a couple things I could show her to make her think that.
Like schlocky horror?
No. It was an episode of the show 911 on Fox.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
You know that scene I'm talking about.
No, I didn't watch the show, but I know of it.
Okay, I will send you that scene.
Okay.
Or I send it to her.
Okay.
And we'll make her stream with us to watch it.
Let me be the judge first, and then we'll see if I want. Because it's one thing if it's a zombie horror flick, and it's one that's kind of too similar to real life, right? Like if I watch House, I kind of grab somebody's hand, like House MD, right?
Yeah.
But like if it's The Walking Dead, I'm like, okay, this is there's an uncanny valley here. Like I don't believe in zombies. They look very convincing, but there's a disconnect. Yeah. But if I see like almost like a realistic sort of thing, I like, oh, medical show, blood, isn't that weird?
Yeah, I agree. You watch all the zombies you want, but then you see somebody getting cut open, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I remember bringing this up at the beginning of the podcast too. How funny that idea is. Like, ugh.
And we're all okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. We're all okay with guts and zombies and disgusting and viscera, as they say.
But yet somebody needs stitches and we pass out.
Yeah. Okay, so I think let's go through sneak peeks. Yep.
Alicia and Strand centered. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, there's something I think we've been missing a little bit of that too.
I miss their relationship, and so I'm really happy that we're going to get to see some action with them.
Yeah. I mean, not that they've not been having one, but just seeing it.
No, it's just it hasn't, we saw a lot of it in 1 through 4.
Yeah.
Since we really started meeting the new cast, especially in 5, we've barely seen it.
Yeah, but you do get a sense that there is one, and then like sharing the beer at the end, I think that was them.
That was at the end of 4.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah.
The closest we've gotten in 5 was just before the plane was about to take off, and Strand tells her that Madison would be proud. That is the closest we've gotten to their...
Right before it lands, right?
No, just before they took off.
Oh, yes, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, Strand puts his hand on her. He's like, your mother...
That was
she would be
fucking
proud.
Good scene, man.
That scene got me. I was like, done.
Yeah.
But that's the closest we've gotten really to their relationship this entire season, because Strand has been with either Charlie or Sarah or, Daniel, so he hasn't really been with Alicia.
Really that much, right? But talk about delaying gratification. I think that we've all been kind of waiting to see a little bit more of that, and now we're going to get it in spades. Because in the beginning of the trailer, you do see that Alicia's kind of holding through this idea of not killing, but you see this one scene near like the end of the clip, the sneak
with the tree, right?
Yeah, with the tree. But like, there's a little scene later on where you do see her killing again.
Yes.
So I think that's interesting because it's not hokey.
No.
Like Morgan in a way.
She's doing it because she knows she needs to.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what's going on.
I have faith that she knows she needs to.
To kill?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
In the world of survival, if it's you against the walker.
Oh, I don't think it's about that. I think she's trying to find. I think she's not doing it so that she can see if she can be anything else.
No, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm just saying Morgan will do everything in his power not to kill. Right. I feel like Alicia, she doesn't want to kill, but she knows if she has to, she will.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I feel like it might be something more than that. Like, she kills again because of something else. Like, maybe she decides, this is stupid. But who knows? I don't know.
We'll find out next week on I almost said Squawking Dead.
Yeah. No, you will.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, someone's attacking Wes, maybe one of Logan's men, looks like, strangling him.
I feel like, yeah.
Like, what's going on? This guy didn't do anything.
I know, they just, came in, I feel like they were kind of they're like, okay, yeah, it's ours now. Fuck you, it's done.
Yeah.
Like last week, for example.
Yeah. So Alicia being, okay, I don't know if this is Alicia, but it looks like Alicia's being buried. Somebody's being buried.
I didn't notice that in the preview.
There's, somebody has dirt going over them.
I don't think it's Alicia.
It looked kind of like Alicia. Or Althea.
Like, you think they're died?
I don't know if they died. I'll say just somebody's
getting... I gotta go back and look.
Somebody's getting buried. And it looks like a female. I'll say that much.
There's a lot of females in the show now, so it could be anybody.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, God, I hope it's not like Tess. I know that sounds really weird.
Tess came to mind as soon as you said maybe Althea. I was like, well, it could be Tess.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of like a waste? Ah, man. Or not a waste, but I guess it's perfect because in a sense...
Because you would think it'd be one of the main characters, and then...
It gets you right in the gut, though, I guess, in a way.
Yep. Look at the shocker of, Anne Mahoney's death, and look at the shocker of, Dr. Denise's death.
Jim
you were
Brower.
not expecting it. You thought it was going to be a bigger character.
Yeah.
And they boom, with when they killed off Abraham.
Travis Manawa.
Oh yeah, Travis. Yeah.
Woo.
But nobody thought that was going to happen. That was one of the few times fear kept secret.
I almost thought Lorenzo, what's the character, Chris Manawa?
Chris Manawa. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
that was a cheap death. Yeah.
That was in its own way kind of sudden too. I thought they would get a little bit more mileage out of that, or some sort of learning or something.
I'm glad it happened when it did, because I felt like it was dragging on.
That's like Travis having his own Martha situation.
Exactly.
In a way. I think because in a way you got the account of Chris's account through these guys that Travis was brutally basically killing.
Yeah.
But the fact that kind of Chris kind of straightened out at the end, or tried to save me, kind of I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And then he gets killed.
Kind of impression, yeah. Oh man, that's okay. But that kind of goes.
I did the math, and Travis died only a few days after that.
Yeah.
So it came so much further. It was really only maybe within 10 days.
But talk about sudden, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah. So now we get to the part in the sneak peek that goes where we get to the safe blowing, because it looks like it's definitely a safe, but what's in it seems to be tapes, Althea tapes.
I feel like that's what they want us to think, but I feel like it's not going to be.
Oh, that's interesting. What a way to think. I know. All I remember seeing was bottled water and cassette tapes of some kind, or videotapes of some kind.
I mean, I have no idea what it could be, but I just feel like it would be too obvious if it was her tapes.
Oh man, is it Althea that's going to be tested too as a result of this? Because if he's looking for the oil fields and he thinks that it's going to be in Althea's safe, where all these important video accounts are held.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, it could be the same safe that's in one of the Althea tapes. We have...
I still need to watch those, actually.
Yeah, go to the blog and you can see them all in a row. Well, okay, I guess with that, I think all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read the quote at the end of the episode, because I do want to... It does say a lot, just like the beginning of The Tale of the Two Cities, it does say a lot about the world in which they live right now. That last one is actually very interesting too, and it starts off by saying, this is while Dwight's getting his hair cut and all that stuff. which is kind of just really gorgeous. I see a beautiful city and a brilliant people rising up from this abyss, and in their struggles to truly be free, in their triumphs and defeats, through the long years to come, I see the evil of this time and of the previous time of which this is the natural birth, gradually making expiation, which like making amends, reparations for itself and wearing out. I see the lives of which I laid down my life peaceful, useful, generous, and happy. I see the good old man, so long their friend, in 10 years' time enriching them with all that he has. Oh, with all he has, and passing tranquility to his reward. Basically, people dying in their sleep, which is great. I see that I hold a sanctuary in their hearts, and then she switches it to a normal speed. And in the hearts of their descendants, generations hence. It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. And I think it's just so beautiful. Like, the end result of this revolution is the concept of what it might look like to have this peace, to not die in war, to make amends for like atrocities past, to die of old age, like old men passing on their wisdom, and
which is something you don't get in the apocalypse. You don't get to die of old age.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so that's something to be said about that. It's just like a wonderful idea. Like, that's kind of like why I love fear in a way, because I've been thinking about this a little bit from the last episode and now today. Like, maybe the Commonwealth has their own way of how they want to do this. But, like, I think fear has another way. Fear is a different answer to that, to world building. For some reason, TWD can't get it right.
No. I'm curious to see what the third series is going to make it do.
Yeah.
Like how they're going to go about it.
Which is why I like the connection to fear, like the idea of the connection to fear. Because, like, is it the Commonwealth? Or is it like Morgan, John, June's, their idea coming to fruition? Right? But it's a fear spinoff, right? So
that's been debatable for this whole time. So, some are saying yes, some are saying no.
I don't care what anybody says. Fear the Walking Dead like that comment that I made, so I win.
Boom.
I got confirmation, all the confirmation I need. Oh, man. Anyway, so with that, thank you for hanging around. And yes, Walani, and yes, Nisa, thank you for hanging around. I love you guys.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I love how you were like being Meg's compatriot in silence when it came to the...
I can't see the comments, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, when it came to the cricket. So,
wait, there was a cricket comment?
Yeah, they were like, crickets are big and noisy and scary.
Actually, I lost sight of him, so I'm kind of scared right now.
Well, we'll get out of that room as soon as possible. Take care.
Well, my feet can't touch the ground, so I feel like he might be under my feet. No, my feet can't touch the ground like anywhere, so I feel like he might be under my feet.
And with that, everybody, the thought of terror looming around the corner.
You know what happened.
Well,
I fought the cricket and the cricket won.
I fought the cricket and the crick.
Oh, you got the reference. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody, good night. We'll see you next week on this same bat time, same bat channel. Why don't you download AMC Premiere? This is not a paid advertisement, because now there'll be weeks upon weeks upon weeks of content between the Fear the Walking Dead ending right at the point of The Walking Dead, and then we're gonna have a short break and then come right back to The Walking Dead, and we're gonna have The Walking Dead. And then you saw that we've started seeing the signs for TWD3. Yep. Like it's there's gonna be so much content.
Wait, you mentioned a break. There's no break.
There's no break on Thanksgiving?
Between Fear and Walking Dead? No, I just told you this before the show.
Oh, no, not Fear and Walking Dead. Between Walking Dead and Walking Dead. The mid-season break.
Oh, yeah, that, yeah. Okay,
that's all I mean.
My mistake.
So you're not going to be having a break for like 6 plus 8. There's 14 weeks.
The end of November.
Yeah, basically until Thanksgiving. Like American Thanksgiving, sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
I think it's the 24th, I believe.
Put a couple dimes in the jukebox and, watch with us. And then join us. And then you'll be part of the conversation. We're thinking of doing some show reformatting and all that stuff. I'm gonna run it by the host and see if, because I'm trying to make it so that we have a more like a really big fruitful conversation where everybody's comments get answered, and I'm thinking of a way of doing that without, first of all, having really long shows, because we're paying either too much or too little to the comments, etc., and getting derailed or whatever it is. I kind of want to break these shows up into like more shows throughout the week. So on the one hand, maybe we could spit fire when it comes to like breaking down episodes, and then we can have a follow-up episode kind of addressing everybody's comments and stuff like that. So
We can answer comments. We can answer questions.
I think I want to have that ready by The Walking Dead. In the meantime, all of that aside, and this is me just giving you a BTS into my thought process and ways of kind of connecting with us more on a kind of a show level, like really engendering this like We Are Squawking Dead thing.
Or can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
If listeners and viewers, I guess I could say, if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to let us know.
info@squawkingdead.com. And then just...
Or social media.
Or you can DM us on squawkingdead.com via either Facebook or Twitter, or DM me on Instagram, whatever. Either way, speaking of squawkingdead.com, wait a few minutes after this live broadcast ends and you'll be able to start entering the new giveaway. We'll be giving out at least one shout out on cameo.com to a lucky winner. But if we start reaching 1,000 followers or 1,000 likes or 1,000 subscriptions on YouTube, every time we hit the 1,000 mark on any of these platforms, we add another winner slot. So the potential for as many winners as possible is very high. So help us get us there. So in a couple minutes, I'll be uploading the new squawkingdead.com website with the giveaway entries. And may the best winner win. And help us grow. That's the whole point of the road to thousands. Help us reach 1,000 at least on one of these platforms, be it YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is. I have 1,000 in a platform I don't even know about. Start an account for us. Don't do that. That's illegal. Anyways, we'll be seeing you next week on this same bat time, same bat channel, taking over for Talking Dead. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're afraid of crickets too, and if you're deathly afraid of them. In the meantime, thanks, Meg. Thanks for coming on and rapping with me.
Oh, always. Bye, guys.
We'll see you then. Bye.